presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
These days, the Tigers lineup features one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. That would be Justin Upton, who has 67 RBIs in his last 67 games. Can't get hotter than that. Jay Up back in the lineup tonight as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game one in this three-game series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the visiting New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Bemba, Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here tonight for game one in this series. Now, the Tigers have Justin Upton, Rod, going, and he had a huge series against the Dodgers. Nobody's been able to slow this guy down. He's been on fire.
Well, he's been on fire, as you just mentioned. His numbers over the course of the last 20 games, he's hit 10 home runs, partner. Doesn't matter whether it's a left-hander, a right-hander, a starter, or a back-end reliever. This guy has been getting busy, just killing the baseball this year. He's awfully fun to watch these days.
All right, now, while he has been consistent, Mr. Aaron Judge has not. Now, this guy's one of the great young talents in all of baseball. Very imposing at 6 feet 7 inches tall, hits a lot of home runs, but the second half has not been very good for him.
No, it really hasn't been good for Aaron Judge. I mean, this guy was the brightest star in all of baseball the first half of the season. He did monster damage. Look at the numbers at the top. 30 homers with a 29% strikeout rate. You can see the bottom there. Lately, he's been swinging and missing a lot. 166 strikeouts for Judge. He's a guy that's been leaving the strike zone quite often, chasing fastballs upstairs and breaking balls down low. He still is a very powerful bat. Matthew Boyd going up against him today. They've seen each other a lot. That dates all the way back to college and a lot during the minor leagues. So we'll watch that very closely tonight, but you still can't make a mistake to Judge. This guy has a lot of power.
All right, game one in the series just minutes away. After a short break, we'll be sending you to the Call Sam Studios to check in with Mickey York. Coming up with this one here tonight, it's game one of the series, and Matthew Boyd on the mound for the Tigers, searching for consistency. Tigers-Yanks, game one, coming up next.
Masahiro Tanaka coming back off the disabled list tonight. The Tigers beat him 2-0 August 2nd. He starts tonight 0-3 lifetime against the Tigers with an ERA over 4.5. Hi everybody, Mickey York back with you here in the Coliseum Studio. The first of 3 between the Tigers and the Yankees coming up here shortly. And the Tigers tonight are trying to make it 5 wins in their last 6 against the Yankees, which would be their best stretch against New York since 2011. And while tonight's game is going on, you'll have an opportunity to win some really cool stuff. Some of the Tigers' favorite things, courtesy of the Tigers' Wives broadcast auction benefiting the Detroit Tigers Foundation. It gets underway following tonight's first pitch. Great items up for bids. We look forward to having you be a part of it and taking home some really cool gear for a great cause. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram, make the most of your summer at the Ram Summer Clearance Event going on now. And by Kroger, fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
We're at Comerica Park tonight, game 1 in this series featuring the Tigers and the visiting New York Yankees. Matthew Boyd will take them out tonight for the Tigers. And he's presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Matthew Boyd made a relief appearance against the Los Angeles Dodgers just a couple of days ago. He made his last start against the Minnesota Twins on the 13th of August. No decision in that particular game. 4.29 ERA overall for Boyd this year. You can see his usage at the bottom, 50% with the fastball. And he mixes up the slider, curveball, changeup.
Here's the lineup he will face tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Yankees, It'll be Brett Gardner getting things started. He is followed by Hicks and then Sanchez. Aaron Judge still in the cleanup slot. He's playing in right field. Peoria is the shortstop. Austin is the DH, bottom three of Headley, and then Frazier and Torres tonight for Joe Girardi and the visiting New York Yankees. Yanks right now in the middle of the wild card chase. They are trailing Boston by 4.5 in the Central, but right now trying to hold on to that wild card spot. As Brett Gardner leads it off, and here we go, the first pitch tonight. And Gardner looks at a ball inside, 1-0. Gardner, a .256 hitter with good power this year, 20 home runs. And he's knocked in 52. The 1-0 is a strike called on the outside corner. Here's where the Yankees sit. Right now they own the top wild card spot over Minnesota, and you can see all those teams still bunched up.
It's going to be very interesting the last 6 weeks of the season regarding the wild card in the American League.
A lot of teams, and I guess, Rod, that second wild card, the addition thereof, has really, I think, caused a lot of excitement around the league.
Especially for some small market teams. Usually that's one of the teams that are fighting for one of those spots. I know the Yankees are right there, but you've got some other small market teams, Minnesota and Milwaukee in the other division, looking at getting a wild card.
3-1 on Gardner.
And you want to keep him off the base paths. And Gardner has good speed. He swiped 16 this year. He's been caught 3 times.
The 3-1 pitch. Gardner hammers one toward right center field. MAHTOOK is on the run. He'll track it down. MIKIE goes to the gap, and one gone.
And Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning brings you the starting defense for the Tigers. Upton in left, MAHTOOK in center field, Presley in right, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera in the infield, and James McCann is the catcher. Outstanding jump in center field off the bat of Brett Gardner. MAHTOOK took a beeline to get after this ball in the right center field gap and took a little leap to run it down.
Here is Aaron Hicks, who was not in the lineup the last time the Tigers saw him. He was on the DL. He missed 39 games with an oblique problem. .265 for Hicks. Swing and a miss out in front, 1-1.
That's exactly what the Boston Red Sox did to Hicks over the weekend. Lots of off-speed pitches thrown by Boston, and it kind of looks like Matthew Boyd might try to exploit that weakness here tonight as well. Hicks has been struggling with the breaking pitches.
1-2 on Hicks.
Not uncommon, though. If you spend some time on the disabled list, usually you have your fastball timing when you come off the DL, but it's the field pitches, the curveballs, the sliders, and the changeups that kind of disrupt your timing, which makes it more difficult for guys when they've spent time on the DL.
Ground ball up the middle and into center field. A base hit out of the reach of Iglesias. Hicks aboard with a 1-out single for the Yankees. Hey, by the way, the Tigers' wives are standing by to take your bid in the Favorite Things auction. Support the Detroit Tigers Foundation by placing a bid or purchasing a bow tie. Call 313-471-2026 or text Tigers to 52182. And we'll be chatting about all of these terrific baskets that have been put together by the Tigers and their wives all night long.
Some cool stuff.
Really cool stuff. We do this every single season to benefit the Tigers Foundation. And your chance to get some neat stuff. Sanchez pops it up foul.
And Gary Sanchez batting in the number 3 spot tonight. It had been occupied for the entire second half by the guy in the on-deck circle. That would be Aaron Judge. But I guess Joe Girardi, he's tired of answering all the questions. When are you going to take Judge out of the number 3 spot? Well, he's done it. He's batting 4th today, so Joe will not have to answer that question tonight.
Yeah, it's not like he bumped it from 3 to 6 or 3 to 8.
It's not like they're going to change how they're pitching him regardless of where you're batting.
No, I agree. Sanchez waits on the 0-1. Gary Sanchez having himself a good year. He's hit 23 home runs, batting a solid .270.
He probably is the best offensive catcher in the sport, in National League and American League. He gave the numbers 23 and 65, and he missed a month this year. This guy can hit.
He sure can. He showed what he could do last year. He's followed that up with a terrific season.
And defensively, he's taken a step back this year, but that bat, he could bang.
20 homers last year for Sanchez. He is the only catcher to start 2016 with a .280 average, 30+ homers from the start of the 16 season. It'll dive low. Boyd falls behind. 2 balls and 1 strike on Sanchez.
Dangerous count here for Matthew Boyd if he decides to throw Gary Sanchez a fastball. Sanchez will be all over the fastball. If he throws a breaking ball, he might get a swing and miss.
Drilled deep to left field and way back. He didn't swing and miss on that one.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
that thing is, where did it land?
Oh my goodness.
Wow. A long 2-run homer for Gary Sanchez.
That is the furthest ball that I've seen hit to left field here at Comerica Park. That cleared all the stands out there. It was a changeup at 81 miles an hour, and Sanchez hit that ball 500 feet. And here's the changeup. He's going to show you the grip, and he left this thing up, and it was absolutely scalded. .113 miles an hour on the exit speed. Yikes.
2-0 Yankees. And Judge looks at a strike.
Sanchez did not have a very good, didn't swing the bat very well in Boston, but man, he's off to a nice start here tonight.
24th home run of the year.
Have you ever seen a ball go over both stands out there, Mark? It went over everything out there.
No, I saw the ricochet, and I'm still trying to figure out where it landed, but I don't think I've seen one go that far. I really don't. That's fouled away.
Well, here's one more look at it, and we'll see if we can figure out where it lands. Over everything.
Wow. He'll dart low now. 2-2 on Aaron Judge. Early 2-0 lead for the Yanks, and the homer by Sanchez. Ball outside of Judge, 3-2.
So I guess that move by Joe Girardi to put Sanchez in that 3 spot today, it pays huge dividends early.
Now the 3-2 is low ball 4. That'll be a walk for Judge. 3 straight base runners now for the Yanks. There's the ball strikes numbers on Mr. Boyd so far. Weather-wise, 79 degrees. Partly cloudy. We had some big-time rain here before the game, but it cleared out well before the start of the game. A little bit of breeze as well here at the yard. And here is Didi Gregorius now with still only 1 out. Ball 1. This is a Yankees team that right now is banged up a little bit. They're still without Greg Bird. Starlin Castro is on the DL. Clint Frazier and Matt Holliday also on the DL.
Both Frazier and Castro might come back sooner than the other 2 gentlemen. Castro is playing now on a rehab assignment, and Bird is also playing. So they're going to have some decisions to make very shortly on both guys.
They're also without Michael Pineda, who's on the 60-day DL. And he was one of their better starting pitchers. 1-0 on Didi Gregorius. Ripped to right center field. That ball is going to get down, and it's going to go to the warning track. Cut off by MAHTOOK. Judge being held at third base. It'll be a double.
Well, one of the things that Matthew has to do is he has to stay out of fastball friendly counts. I mean, that's a 1-0 fastball to the left-handed batting Didi Gregorius that's ripped into the right center field gap. We saw him throw the changeup to Gary Sanchez, but he missed with that location. So if he continues to fall behind hitters, he's going to have to show some confidence in his off-speed pitches to keep him off that 93-mile-per-hour heater.
If MAHTOOK lets this ball get to the wall, it scores a run. But Mikey got to it, and Judge held at third base. Meanwhile, an early visit from Rich Doobie. And And Rich taking all of the 30 seconds that he is allotted. So a bumpy start here for Matthew Boyd. He's given up a couple of runs on 3 hits, still only 1 out. Tyler Austin will check in for the Yanks.
And it looks like the Tigers are going to concede the run on the ground. And no doubt the judge will be coming home on something hit on the ground.
In there, strike 1. Little bender from Boyd. Austin, a .250 hitter in his second stint now with the big club.
He's got some power too. He's got 2 homers and 5 RBI. He hasn't been in the big leagues that long, but Austin's got some big time power. Can really hit a fastball.
In there, a strike called, 0-2.
That's a well located fastball on the black inside at 93.
Chase Headley on deck.
Last time we saw the Yankees, it was that kid Clint Frazier who was playing some good baseball for them. Now it's another youngster in Austin.
High fly ball, center field. MAHTOOK is under it. This will score the run as Judge tags. He'll come home. Throw comes into third base. Sac fly for Austin and an RBI. Three 0 New York. That'll bring up Chase Headley. Sixth RBI for Austin. Headley at .276, batting with a man at second, now 2 outs. That was the 25th pitch thrown by Boyd. With the ratio as well. Headley, veteran guy, has been with the Yankees now for 4 seasons. That'll dive a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And when they acquired Todd Frazier from the Chicago White Sox, Headley had to move over to first base. And since that time, July 20th, spanning 29 games, Headley batting .340 since moving over to first base. He swung the bat extremely well when we were in New York a few weeks ago.
A change of position apparently has not hurt Mr. Headley. It has actually helped him.
The Yankees going to have a decision to make when they get guys like Castro back, and when Greg Bird does come back. Does Headley go back to third base? What happens to Frazier? But those are all pleasant problems for a team that's in playoff contention.
Yeah, no doubt. Better to have too much than not enough. Here's the 2-1. Way outside. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Headley.
And Boyd not necessarily attacking the strike zone tonight the way that we're accustomed to Matthew attacking the strike zone. He's thrown 28 total pitches. He's missed the strike zone with half of those.
And he walked him. That'll put 2 men on now with 2 outs, and Frazier stands in. Second walk in the inning now for Boyd.
I don't know if with the base open, already trailing by 3, he kind of pitched around Headley to get to Frazier or not, but it would kind of make sense. I mean, Frazier has had really no success whatsoever against Matthew Boyd. I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but if he was thinking along those lines, I'm not mad at him.
That makes sense to me. Boyd will step off. Frazier is just 1 for 15 against Matt Boyd, but that 1 is a homer. .243 batting average. And there's a strike call.
Good pitch. Nice little breaking pitch to get over for strike 1.
Action already in the Tigers pen. Warwick Soppold starting to warm up. In there, a strike.
That may have been the reason why he pitched around Headley, if that's in fact what he did with the base open. But he still has to execute a pitch here against Frazier.
Swing and a miss, and he does for strike 3. The Yankees send 8 men to the plate. They scored 3 runs. They'll go to the bottom of the first. Now 3-0 Yanks lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning, and here is the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Brad tonight has Kinsler, MAHTOOK, and Upton in the top 3 spots, followed by Cabrera cleaning up. Castellanos at third. V-Mart is the DH. McCann, Presley, and Iglesias rounding it out. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Masahiro Tanaka.
And first start for Tanaka since spending some time on the disabled list. He went on the DL on the 4th of August. Tanaka has a fastball that tops out at about 90. He only throws that pitch about 40% of the time. He mixes in a slider or curveball, a split-fingered fastball, his secondary pitches, and he uses those pitches quite a bit.
So Tanaka goes to work as Kinsler stands in for the Tigers. And Ian looks at a strike. 2 out of 10 in the series versus the Dodgers. That was just completed. Now Tanaka with the 0-1. Fought that one off foul. 0-2. Well, Ron, you mentioned it might have gone 500. You were close, man.
That's got to be second longest this season in MLB. Nearly 500 feet, man.
Judge had the longest one in Seattle. That one went 493.
And it was a changeup, too. It wasn't even a fastball. I'd never seen a ball go that far here at this ballpark, though. I mean, over both sets of stands out there.
Pretty impressive. Here's the 1-2 to Kinsler. Ian shoots one in the air to left field. Straight at Gardner. One gone.
Let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they read Gardner, Hicks, and Judge. Third to first, it's Frazier, Gregorius, Torreyes, Headley, and Gary Sanchez, who put his team on the board first here in the first inning with that monster home run behind the plate.
Here's MIKIE MAHTOOK. 2 out of 13 in the series against the Dodgers that was just completed. Mikey at 293 now.
And Tigers' game plan today against Tanaka, they'll try to force him into getting the ball up in the strike zone. He likes to work south of the knees with a mixture of two-seam fastballs, not many four-seam fastballs. He's got an outstanding split-fingered fastball. He gets tons of swings and misses on. And so you got to make him get up in the strike zone.
Tanaka coming off the disabled list with shoulder discomfort, inflammation. He was 3-3 with a 3.00 in his last 9 starts coming into play tonight. Very good ERA. Not quite having the year he had last year. Here's the 2-0. 2-1 on MAHTOOK. Mikey in the second half batting at a .323 clip. And showing some of that power the Tigers felt that he had. He comes in with 9 home runs this season. Here's the 2-1. Chop left side of the infield. Short hop pick there by Frazier. 2 gone. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Jay up. He just might get you one of those home runs right here.
67 RBI in the last 67 games for Justin Upton. He has been on fire. He is on some kind of pace.
So Jay up now with 90 RBIs, 3rd in the American League. Strike 1.
He's been clobbering the ball at the bottom of the strike zone as well. As you get a look at the way they defend Jay up in the infield. Torreyes, the second baseman. Now he swung all the way around to the other side of the infield, basically.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Upton's career high is 102 RBIs a couple of years ago with Atlanta. And he is probably going to get there this year, I would say. With 90 already.
He's on pace for about 120.
Is he?
This year.
The 0-2. Bouncing in, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Upton. Hey, don't forget the Tigers' wives are standing by to take your bid in the Favorite Things auction, supporting the Tigers Foundation. The phone number 313-471-2026. Or if you'd like, you can text Tigers to 52182 and bid on your favorite baskets. The Tigers and their wives putting together some of their favorite things. Bouncing ball left side, cut off by Frazier. And Upton is out by half a step. Ooh, that was close. Hold on, Tigers may want to look at this. Jay up got down the line quickly. I don't think they'll challenge this.
Yeah, not enough to overturn it.
And they won't. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka. A 3-0 lead in this one. It'll be Ronald Torreyes to lead things off for the Yanks here in the second. Matt Boyd goes back to work. It'll be Torreyes and then Gardner and Hicks.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about these Yankees these days, they're not the Yankees that used to try to work a lot of counts. These guys swing early. They swing often if they get fastballs in the count, in the strike zone.
Fouled away again, 0-2. So Boyd, who threw 32 in the first inning, looking for a much quicker second. 17 strikes, 15 balls in that first inning. Walked a couple of batters. Line to right field, foul. Torreyes playing second base. 284 batter. Nice catch out there. By Sparty, too. Line drive, center field. MAHTOOK will play it on one hop. Leadoff single by Torreyes. Check it now with Matt Shepard. More in the wives auction. Matt standing by with Jessica McCann.
Yeah, Mario, the ladies are very, very busy on this night for sure, and Jessica McCann is just as busy as anybody else. What do you like most about being involved in this event? Because you've done it for 3 years now.
Yes, this is probably one of my favorite events that we do. I love helping to raise money for the Tigers Foundation, and it just gives some of the wives a chance to get together and have a fun night at the ballpark.
Did you have much of a say in what went into James's basket this year?
We collaborate on it pretty well. I mean, I throw out ideas, and he usually says yes or no, and so yeah, it was 50-50.
I love the used catcher's mask, and obviously the used bat too. But there's some interesting things in his basket, like grilling utensils. Is he a good griller? Is he a grill master?
He's a grill master. Wow. Yes, that's one of our favorite things after a day game or on a weekend. The off season, we love to grill. He loves to grill.
Okay, what's the best thing he grills for you? It's a tough one. Come on.
I would say steak.
Steak, okay.
He's turned me into a steak lover.
Okay, now down south, big sweet tea fans, right? So he also has a tea maker in his basket, doesn't he?
He does. It says iced tea maker, but for us it's a sweet tea maker. Okay. So you got to have some sugar with this.
Does it come with directions?
No directions.
Because if guys are buying this, remember this. We're not all that great sometimes at making these things. We could use a little helping hand.
Well, I'm telling you, you need 1.5 cups of sugar. Okay. It's a lot of sugar, but it's 2 quarts of tea. So.
Gotcha. Well, keep up the great work. She's sweet, Mario. We're sweet on you and Rod. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Shep, thanks. There's a roller to second, and they'll get the force there. That's it.
Jessica's not kidding, though. I mean, that sweet tea.
Yeah.
Man, that tastes like straight sugar.
Here's the James McCann basket, the autographed catcher's mask, 4 tickets to a 2018 home game, and you have spa and hunting gift cards and a whole lot more in that basket as well. Again, if you'd like to bid, 313-471-2026 or text Tigers as well. To 52182. That's what you would text Tigers to. 1-on-1 out now. Aaron Hicks looks at a strike.
And told you earlier that Boyd must not forget about Gardner, who was on first base. He has the ability to steal a bag. He has 16 this year. And overall in his career, his overall success rate is about 80%. So he's been outstanding.
I should say Boyd rather gives you that move that sometimes Rod can be you look at it and you go, well, that's a borderline balk.
It's like a little slide step.
Yeah.
A lot of left-handers have adopted this move lately. I mean, because most guys, when they do throw over to first base, they don't slide step, but when they do go home, they slide step. So what they're trying to do is fool the base runner thinking they're going home, and in reality they're throwing the ball to first base.
JB's the guy that is a good move for a right-hander. That's down the right field line, slicing away to the corner and foul. 0-2 on Hicks. Well, at least Boyd is getting ahead of hitters in this inning. And he was falling behind batters in the first, gave up the 2-run shot to Sanchez, a double to Gregorius. Hicks had a single, scored a run ahead of the homer by Sanchez. Got him, strike 3. Caught him looking, good pitch. Right at the knees, outside corner, could do nothing with that.
Well, Hicks should be used to getting a lot of breaking balls. He got a base hit his first time up. It was a fastball. Here's the breaking ball. He wrapped it around the outside part of the plate. Nice job with the glove by McCann. They're presenting it to Paul Nart to get the call for strike 3.
Second strikeout for Boyd. That'll bring up Sanchez. Ball 1 high.
His first home run landed where those people are standing his first time up. Not where they're sitting, where they're standing back there.
493 feet. That one is popped up behind the plate. McCann discards the mask, and that'll end the inning. No runs, the leadoff single, 1 man left. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Jose Abreu, one of the really remaining parts of that White Sox team that hadn't been traded away. 25 homers in each of his first 4 career seasons.
We're going to see him in a couple of days.
Yes, we are. The Sox on the docket coming up. Tim Beckham, most hits in his first 20 games with the team, 36 hits.
We saw about half of those.
And the Indians today placed a couple of key pieces on the DL. Andrew Miller goes back on, Rod.
Wow, and Danny Salazar. I mean, one big time starter and a big time reliever.
We'll see how that affects the Indians. Cabrera leads it off for the Tigers, and MIKIE looks at a strike, 0-1. Castellanos and then Victor Martinez.
And Tigers got a nice little tune-up for Tanaka here today. They saw Kenta Maeda yesterday, another Japanese-born pitcher with a nice little hesitation in his windup. So they saw someone a couple of days ago that pitches almost like Tanaka.
To the right fielder, Judge will haul it in, 1 gone.
You weren't here, partner, but that Dodgers team, man, we've seen some good teams this year. But
pretty good.
Dodgers team, man, they can do it, man. That Kenta Maeda has 11 wins. I mean, and he matched Verlander pitch for pitch a couple of days ago.
And they're a very versatile team too, aren't they?
They can run. They've got speed. They've got youth. They've got veteran leadership. They just added Curtis Granderson. It's a well-constructed baseball team. There's no doubt about that.
Well, as we've learned in the past, sometimes the team with the best record doesn't always win that World Series. A lot of baseball to be played in this year, and then of course the postseason's a whole different animal. Castellanos looks at a strike.
It told you that Tanaka these days only about 38% with a fastball, and most of those are 2-seam fastballs or sinkers. Lots of curveballs, lots of sliders, and lots of split-fingered fastballs.
One ball, one strike on Nick. 16 home runs this year. Swing and a miss.
Tanaka gets tons of swings and misses on that slider, especially when he's locating it where he just located that one against Castellanos. It's obviously a ball off the plate, but it looks so inviting to the right-handed batters. He's got a huge break on this pitch.
Little looper into center field, and it's going to be caught on the run by Hicks, and there are 2 gone. Oh, what do we got on the Justin Verlander basket after throwing a gem against the Dodgers? Autographed ball and jersey, Under Armour fitness items. How about the last one? Dog toys and goodies. It's just part of the Verlander basket. Also an autographed photo of JV. And a bunch of other good things too. There's a phone number. You can go online as well, tigers.com, and you can see all of the baskets there. And pick out one you want to bid on. Pick out a couple, actually. Heck, bid on all of them. Victor rolls one foul, 0-1.
And so far, Tanaka doing a pretty nice job of attacking the strike zone against the Tigers. In his last outing on August 4th against the Toronto Blue Jays, he lasted just 4 innings in that outing, but he walked a career-high 5. And that is very uncommon for Tanaka. This guy has been a strike thrower since coming stateside from Japan.
You know, you look at his walk numbers, and they are up a little bit overall this year, a little over 2 per 9 innings, but for his career, he's at about 1.7.
So they knew something was wrong with him when he walked 5 the other day, so they put him on the disabled list for a shoulder ailment.
Tanaka was acquired in 2014, signed a 7-year deal, but has an opt-out after this season. Victor checked it and did not go. 2-1 on Martinez. Tanaka, 28 years of age. Martinez was 2 out of 12 in the Dodger series. Bouncing ball to first. That is a foul ball. Nice play there by Headley, but it was outside of the bag. 2-2. Martinez showing some signs of waking up a little bit. 320 over his last 7 games. He had been in a rough stretch.
It's been a difficult year for not only Victor, but also Miguel Cabrera. A couple of guys that bat right in the middle of the Tigers' batting order. Both guys have had marvelous careers.
Now Tanaka with the 2-2. Vmart swings and strikes out. Down he goes. 6 up, 6 down against Masahiro Tanaka. As we go to break, when we come back, the commissioner of Major League Baseball will join us. Rob Manfred will be in the booth. That is coming up next. It is 3-0 in favor of the Yankees in this one. As promised, the commissioner of Major League Baseball will join us in the booth this half inning. Rob Manfred is in the Motor City, and it is our pleasure to welcome the commissioner to Detroit. And Commissioner, first of all, what brings you to the Motor City? I know you always have a good time when you come here.
I love coming to Detroit. Just part of my normal effort to get out and see the clubs. I try to see as many clubs at home over the course of the season as I possibly can.
What is in your mind the general state of the game right now? Obviously, we have some great pennant races. We just saw the Dodgers came in, some great teams, some good young talent such as Aaron Judge that we're seeing in this series. What, in your estimation, is the state of the game right now?
Look, we're really positive about baseball. I think the most important thing is the last thing you mentioned. We got a great group of young players, from Mike Trout to Bryce Harper to Aaron, Gary Sanchez, just, you know, all sorts of young players that really people see as talented a group as we've had in decades. And I think that's great for the game. Our business is really strong. Our attendance is tracking. We're going to be right at that 74 million number again this year. You know, that basically means for every game over the course of the season, we draw 30,000 fans. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Another 41 million people going to go to minor league baseball this year. Our ratings are up nationally. We had an unbelievable World Series last year, and we're hoping that the pennant races we have going this year produce another one.
Commissioner, talk about your weekend for a moment, because it looked like you had a lot of fun with the Little Leaguers at Williamsport. You also had the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Talk about this event right here.
Well, you know, it's a really important event for us. Gave us an opportunity to showcase our relationship with Little League Baseball, which is a key part of our effort to get more kids playing the game. Steve Keener, the president of Little League, does a fantastic job in that 8 through 12 space. We're very strong. It's the sport that's still played by more kids than any other in that age group, and really important to us. Secondly, I'll say our players, both the Cardinals and the Pirates, were phenomenal. They interacted with the kids. They had a ton of fun. They showed people their personalities, and it just made for a great event.
Well, building on that, Commissioner, how are you doing in terms of a sport in attracting the young kids back to baseball? Because I think when Rod and I were kids, and you as well, boy, baseball was it, man. We'd go out and we'd play in the sandlots. We'd play until it was dark. And that seemingly has shifted now. There are so many other things for kids to do. What do you do to get them back to the ballpark?
Well, I think it's about providing programs and investing in a really competitive youth space. I mean, we didn't have a big youth budget when I took over. Thanks to a partnership with the Players Association, we have a $30 million fund that we spend in the youth space. We spend a lot of time in that space. And, you know, there's a industry association that measures youth participation, the only major sport last year that had increases, and that includes things like lacrosse, hockey, soccer, was baseball and softball. We were up 8% in baseball, almost a similar amount in softball, and that's great news for us. I think what it shows us is if you invest some time and money, you can make a difference.
Commissioner, I know your first year that you took over, the pace of play, and those numbers kind of came down a little bit. I think those numbers are up again this year as far as the amount of time that it takes to play 9 innings these days. I mean, is there anything that you're thinking about doing to maybe improve the pace of game in the future?
We are. We have an ongoing discussion with the Players Association. You are right. We are longer again this year. That's an unfortunate development from my perspective. But I think what we need is a set of rule changes that deals with dead time in the game without altering the fundamentals of what we all believe is the greatest game in the world. So things like mound visits, inning breaks, pitchers pitching in a timely way, batters staying in the box. We need to do better with those rules.
Well, I think a lot of folks are glad to hear you say that, Commissioner, because altering the fundamentals of the game, I think, really starts to play with the sport the way it's been for the last 100 years or so. And I don't think that people really want to see going on that avenue.
Yeah, I'm pretty committed to the idea that I don't want to be the commissioner who tried to change the game and failed. I think that's a bad program for me. But I do think that most everybody agrees that there is dead time in the game, and dealing with that dead time would help us just move the greatest game in the world along a little faster.
Commissioner, I have a question regarding the baseball. Gary Sanchez hit a ball 493 feet here today, and I heard you talking a little earlier. Sometimes it's on the pitcher to make a better pitch than they've made, but what answers do you have for people out there that think the ball has a little bit more giddy up in it than in years past?
Well, my answer, frankly, is science. You know, we test the ball extensively. We have a long track record of testing the baseball. Rawlings, the manufacturer, does its own testing independent of us. Both of us agree that the baseball is within the specifications. There's no material difference in the baseball. There's a lot going on the field. You know, players are being taught to play the game differently. And, you know, it does result in more home runs. You know, we tolerate strikeouts in numbers we didn't used to tolerate. Pitchers throw harder. Right. And all of those things combine to produce more home runs.
61-66 the amount of home runs this year, which is more than 126 other seasons. So clearly the home run numbers are up, and that's something that I guess when you look at what fans love to see, Commissioner, it's the long ball, as they say. So in some respects, that has made the game a little bit more exciting for them.
Look, fans do love the long ball, but I have to say, we have, in things that we're concerned about when we watch the play of the game on the field, we are concerned about balls being put in play because it produces action. It helps people stay engaged in the game. And the increase in home runs, you know, it's a quick one-time shot. It's over with. It's exciting. It doesn't produce that sustained action that a lot of fans like to see.
You had a chance to visit Little Caesars Arena today. Rod and I both have had a chance to go see it. I mean, marvelous facility. You've seen it now nearly at its completion. What were your thoughts?
It is really a transformative facility in terms of the design. I actually had the best tour guide in town. Chris Illich gave me the tour himself, and you know, his command of everything that's going on in that facility is absolutely unbelievable. And there are so many features to the facility that I think fans here in Detroit are going to enjoy for years and years to come.
I see you're wearing your Mr. I pin. We wore those on opening day. What kind of relationship did you have with Mr. I when he owned the ball club?
You know, I had a long and really positive relationship with Mr. Illich. For some reason, he identified me as the person in the commissioner's office that he would call. It went on for a number of years. When he had an issue in baseball, it was generally me that he talked to. He was a supporter of mine, a big supporter of mine when it came to the election. I think it was the first owners meeting he'd been to in several years. Came to Baltimore to vote for me, gave a little speech in support of my candidacy. Just can't say enough great things about Mr. Illich and what he's meant to the city of Detroit.
You know, Commissioner, here in Detroit, its citizens and even around the state of Michigan are fiercely proud of this city and of this franchise as well. And I just wonder, from your estimation, what is the view of this city and this market as a baseball town, as an outsider looking in, as opposed to all of us here in Detroit?
Well, you know, we view, and it's not just me, but we view Detroit as one of our kind of core markets. It's a baseball town. We really believe it's a baseball town. A lot of what goes on here represents the ideal from our perspective, long-term family ownership of a franchise that's been tremendously competitive on the field. Great grasp of history here. You know, I had dinner upstairs with Chris before, and you know, Al Kaline's there, and you know, it's just a lot of the things that franchises aspire to, Detroit and the Tigers really have.
I want to ask you another baseball question. You worked very closely with Bud Selig when he was commissioner of baseball, and when he implemented the first wild card, I thought it was genius, but the second wild card even better than that. Do you perceive it to be the same way with all the excitement going on with the wild card now?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the wild card. I think that the addition of the wild card was a good in and of itself, but it was also a positive because it placed renewed focus on winning your division so that you don't have to play that one game elimination game. And that's really important to us. So you want everybody playing hard right through that 162nd game. And I think the second wild card has been very beneficial to the sport.
8 teams within 4 games of each other in that wild card in the American League. So absolutely. And Commissioner, before we let you go, I do want to get your thoughts on one thing that has been floated around, an idea that has been floated around in baseball in terms of the strike zone and having an automated strike zone. We know that obviously there's a balance between getting it right and also keeping the human element in the game. You're going through that right now with replay, but what is your thought about the automated strike zone?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to understand that the technology does not exist today to call balls and strikes accurately real time. We have a very good system that if you give it about 2 minutes, it'll tell you where the pitch was, and that's what we use to evaluate umpires after the fact. But, you know, we do not have the technology today, number one. Number two, I think you make a great point. Even when the technology comes, and it will come, you know, you can't bet against technology in today's world. I think you have to ask yourself whether you really want to eliminate that human element. And I think the question's particularly tough when you have umpires who are essentially right 95% of the time. You know, it's easy to pick out the ones where they're wrong, but they're right more than they're wrong.
Well, Commissioner, we know you're a very busy man. We do appreciate you spending some time with us. Looks like the Yankees are going to get a couple of more runs now on a 3-base hit, safe at third base. But thanks so much for spending some time with us, and best of luck this year.
Nice being with both of you. Good to see you both.
That is the Commissioner, Rob Manfred, who is in the Motor City today. Had a chance to go see the Little Caesars Arena and get more of an in-depth view of District Detroit and his thoughts about the game of baseball. So, Rod, we thank him for coming up. Some great insights there.
Always a pleasure for the Commissioner to come up.
Well, the Yankees have plated 3 more runs here, and Matt Boyd may be done for the night, it appears. Here comes Brad Ausmus. Todd Frazier cueing one down the right field line to get a couple of more runs in. And that's going to be it for Matthew Boyd, who will not survive the 3rd inning tonight. So it's a Wallside Windows pitching change, and we'll be back. Six-0 lead here as we play in the 3rd, and Warwick Soppold coming out of the bullpen as the Tigers go to the pen quickly tonight.
And Warwick Soppold pitching in his 32nd game this year. 29 strikeouts. He's walked 19. He's given up 6 homers. You can see the usage at the bottom. He likes to use his fastball about 52% of the time.
Infield in, and that ball ripped foul to third base.
And these Yankees do not get cheated. I don't think Torreyes has not swung at a pitch all day. Every time he has swung at everything so far.
Had a single back in the 2nd. The Yanks now with 6 runs on 7 hits as they chase Matthew Boyd, and Soppold trying to strand that runner at 3rd. Only 1 out. Swing and a miss. Warwick needs a strikeout here to get that runner at 3rd and allow the defense to go back. Top of the order, Brett Gardner waiting on deck. Yankees got 3 in the 1st and now 3 here in the 3rd. Sliced to right field on a line and caught there by Presley. Runner will tag, and the throw to the plate not in time. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Torreyes. RBI as Frazier comes in to score. And now Brett Gardner. Gardner a line out and a fielder's choice ground ball. Seven nothing. Yankees have the lead now. You know, I thought it was interesting, Rod, the commissioner bringing up the fact that even though an automatic strike zone is something a lot of people want, that technology does not exist yet.
No, it does not. And I don't think that he's all that fond of having it either. He brought up the point of
cued back at third, and Castellanos will run it down.
Of the human element and having the umpires on the field, and I'm a fan of that too.
As am I. The Yankees have added 4 more runs. Now a 7-0 game. Hey, the Tigers' wives are standing by to take your bid in the Favorite Things auction tonight. Support the Tigers Foundation by placing a bid or purchasing a bow tie. 313-471-2026, the phone number. Or if you'd like, text Tigers to 52182. That's 52182 to make your bid. And of course, all of the baskets of the Tigers' Favorite Things can be found at tigers.com. So check it out, make a bid, and help out the Detroit Tigers Foundation. James McCann will get things started for the Tigers here in the third as Tanaka goes back to work.
And Tigers have some serious work to do here in the bottom half of the third inning, already trailing by 7 runs. The Yankees trying to repay the favor the Tigers gave them when they were in New York a couple of weeks ago, where they took 2 of 3 and took the series in the Bronx.
In there for a strike, 1-1. Yeah, the Tigers have now won 4 of the last 5 they played against the Yankees.
Yankees were in first place a couple of weeks ago when the Tigers visited New York, and then now they sit 4 games in back of the Boston Red Sox.
That'll miss high. 2-1 on McCann. Presley and then Iglesias. 6 up, 6 down so far against Tanaka. McCann grounds one foul. 2-2. James has hit safely in 20 of his last 26, and in that stretch he is batting at a .355 clip. It's been amazing the second half that he's had.
He's been one of the hottest catchers as far as batting average in the sport.
Now Tanaka's 2-2. Line to center field, a base hit. Tigers have their first hit of the game. And we'll check in now with Matt Shepard down at the call center with the Tigers' wife. Shep.
All right, Mario, thanks very much. Janelle Presley, it's the first time that she's had an opportunity to get involved with this Tigers Foundation. How have you enjoyed it so far here tonight?
It's been so much fun. It was fun putting the basket together, and it's super fun here, just taking calls with everybody, getting to talk to some fans out there.
You know, it's interesting. So many Tigers, you would think they would have a lot of signed bats and gloves and helmets and so on and so forth. Your husband's got a pretty unique thing in his basket. What is it and why?
I have a book of 200 crossword puzzles. Alex has to get the crossword puzzle out of the USA Today every day and try to finish it. He says he finishes it, but we're not sure if he finishes it every single day.
Does that make him an intellect, do you think?
He thinks so.
Well, it's a lot of fun here. They're having a great time up here, but they need your phone calls. You've got the phone number on the screen. You can text, too, because there's a lot of people out there, they don't want to take the time to call. They want to text in their bids. It continues to rise. They're raising money for a great, great cause. Keep it up, folks.
All right, Shep, thank you. And here is that basket for Alex Presley, the autographed bat and cleats.
Oh, you got to have a coffee maker.
Absolutely. The K-Cups from Dunkin' Donuts, coffee mugs, and I can attest to the fact that ball is lined to right field. Judge will get over there. That he does do those crossword puzzles seemingly every day in the locker room.
Yeah.
Keeps the brain going.
Yes, it does.
It'll bring up Iglesias.
Tanaka's the kind of pitcher, Mario, that presents problems to come back on because he doesn't really ever give in to the strike zone. I mean, there are some guys that would have a 7-run lead, and you just know you're going to get a bunch of fastballs, but that's not the case with Tanaka. He's still going to throw you that splitter. He's still going to throw you those breaking balls off the plate, inside and outside. He's still going to elevate the fastball. He's going to try to get you to chase even more so now with a big lead.
And that lead right now is 7-0. Iggy looks at a strike.
I mean, he spots that two-seam fastball in the outside corner at 92.
We've talked about the hesitation that most of these Japanese pitchers have that come stateside, but this hesitation by Tanaka seems to be exaggerated. That's when there's nobody on base. And obviously, you can't do that with someone on, and they're not going to get a double play. 2 gone. McCann gets back. Todd Moore, Chevrolet's most dependable player. How about Ian Kinsler? Consecutive seasons with 70 or more runs scored. And I guess if you want to judge a leadoff man, judge him by how many times he comes around and touches home plate.
That's exactly what Ian says. He says his main goal every single year is to touch home plate 100 times. And he's done that a few times in his career as well.
Jay up on that list, Jay Bruce, who was recently acquired by the Indians. He is really going off for the Indians.
He is performing very well for them in the absence of Michael Brantley.
Looked like he went, and he did. It's Ben May down at first base, 0-1. Kinsler fly to left field back in the first inning, 0-for-1. Ian this year has 6 leadoff home runs, and while that is a lot, it is not the most in the American League, where George Springer holds the not the record, but for the mark for the most homers this year in a leadoff position. That would be 9 for Springer.
Yeah, Spring doesn't get cheated from that leadoff spot. He's looking to hit the ball out of the ballpark every swing.
Now they go 2. 1-2 on Kinsler.
And you can see where Tanaka is spotting every single pitch. I mean, he's not making any mistakes over the heart of the plate. It's on the corner inside. It's at the bottom of the strike zone and the top of the strike zone. No mistakes being made by Tanaka in the strike zone as of yet.
In the air to center field and hit well. Hicks on the run, still going back, looks up, it's against the wall. Here comes McCann to third. They're going to send him home. He will score. It's a double and an RBI for Ian Kinsler. the center field wall to give the Tigers their first run.
And that's that split-fingered fastball grip. This one didn't tumble as much as Tanaka would have liked. It stayed up for Ian. Ian hit the ball over Hicks' head. Hicks could go get him in center field, but was playing shallow in center field and not able to run that one down as it short hops the 420 sign in straightaway center field. James moving.
He scores with ease. 2-out RBI hit by Kinsler. Here's MAHTOOK now to try and drive him in. And MIKIE looks at a strike. Little slider that apparently caught the outside corner for Tanaka. MAHTOOK 0 for 1 with the ground ball. Oh, and 2. Tanaka last year finished 3rd in ERA in the American League at 3.07. The only 2 that were better were Justin Verlander and Aaron Sanchez. And Tanaka right there with him. Time called as Tanaka stopped his delivery. Boy, that did not look good. Not at all. A late time given to MAHTOOK.
It was a late time. If you're MAHTOOK, well, you better be sure that the umpire is going to give you timeout, though, before you step out of the batter's box. Looked like MAHTOOK was prematurely moving out of the box as he got the time called.
Sanchez, good block.
And Sanchez this year has had a really tough time blocking balls in the dirt. As a matter of fact, he had a couple of crucial pass balls a couple of days ago, but he anticipates this one very nicely. He softens his body and he keeps it in front of him. He can really throw the baseball. Outstanding arm, but he has really taken a step back defensively this year, but he's working very hard to get better.
It seemed to be the key term there. Softened his body to make sure you don't get the big ricochet. The 1-2 is low again. He thought about offering 2-2 on MAHTOOK.
It's already 3 real nice blocks in the game by Gary Sanchez on that splitter. But you can pretty much anticipate on that splitter that it's going to bounce, so you have to be ready for it.
Well, I do remember that series in New York thinking that Sanchez was really struggling defensively behind the plate, and they told us that he was a really good defensive catcher.
Yeah, then when they got to Cleveland after they left us, Joe Girardi gave him a couple of days off, a couple of mental days off.
Here's the 2-2. In the air to right field, not deep. Judge coming in, and that'll end the inning. Tigers get on the board. The RBI doubled by Ian Kinsler. Tigers Live standing by to take your bid. Call now. Have the lead in this one as we go to the top of the 4th inning, and we remind you to stay tuned for Tigers Live. It's coming up after the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game. Presented by McDonald's. As always, stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Warwick Soppold back to work. He had to come on in relief of Matthew Boyd, who was taken out of the game in the 3rd. As we go to the 4th, it'll be Aaron Hicks to lead things off. 2, 3, and 4 for Joe Girardi, Hicks, Sanchez, and Judge. Single strikeout for Hicks. Run scored as well. Remember when he first got to the big leagues ride with Minnesota, so much was thought of this young man. Was a high draft choice.
He was probably rushed to the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins a few years back and struggled mightily and just never really ever recovered, never really lived up to the promise that the Minnesota Twins had when they made him a #1 draft choice. He has lived up to that in a Yankees uniform, though.
Upton handles that fly ball, 1 gone, so Hicks is retired.
You know how it is with high school kids, man. Sometimes it just takes them longer to mature, and the Yankees are benefiting from the fact that he struggled early on, but now he's matured and playing some really good baseball for them.
And from what I remember, he came up from AA, didn't he?
He did. He had a great spring training. I mean, he basically forced his way onto the major league roster. It was one of those poor seasons Minnesota had. They'd lost 100 games, and they thought that he could handle the pressure, but Hicks could not handle the pressure.
Sanchez, the batter. Of course, it's never fun when you're making your major league debut against Justin Verlander.
Remember that day like it was yesterday. Punched him out 3 times, didn't he?
He did.
That back when JV was really JV.
And JV right now helping out Matthew Boyd. This is something we've seen more Verlander do more and more as his career has gone on. He's taken the young guys. He has done this with Fulmer.
It's good to see.
I agree. And it's good also that the young guys are very receptive to just sitting there speaking baseball. 2-0. Sanchez, little looper in the air to center field. MAHTOOK coming on, going to drop right off the end of the bat. Second hit of the night for Gary Sanchez. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Aaron Judge comes in 37 consecutive games with a strikeout. That's the longest streak in Major League Baseball history. He is not fanned tonight. 2 walks, 2 runs scored.
That's the one thing regarding Judge. Even though he has struck out 37 consecutive games, he's still walking. I mean, his on-base percentage is still better than a lot of guys in the big leagues because he takes his walks.
Had a chance before the game to talk to Ken Singleton, who was on their television crew, was a great major league player, and he thinks that a lot of people are focused on the fact that Aaron Judge was in the home run hitting contest and that wore him down, but Ken doesn't think that was as much the case as just being in the All-Star game and the duties that go along with that. Everybody wanted a piece of Judge, and that may have taken it out of him a little bit for the second half. But you know what? That's how you got to learn to play the game, I guess, as Ken said. You know. And
it's easy for people to point to the fact that he participated in the home run hitting contest, and that's why he is struggling now. There's the former Tiger, Marcus Timms, who is one of the hitting coaches, along with Alan Cockrell of the New York Yankees.
1-2. Marcus Timms was the original country strong.
You know it.
Although you have handed that moniker out to several other people.
No, only little bits, only tidbits.
What about Jim Thome?
Nope.
No,
he couldn't get it. That's the original country strong right there.
The 1-2. It'll bounce in. 2-2 now on Judge. How much do you think Judge thinks about that stat? 37 straight games with a strikeout.
Well, he has to think about it every single day because he plays in New York for one, and he's always standing at his locker answering every single question. So he has not been able to get away from it.
Fouled away.
As a matter of fact, yesterday the Yankees had a day off. They played in Boston on Sunday, so they were here in town. And this is him yesterday, man. He went to the baseball lab in Novi. This is Aaron Judge at the baseball lab in Novi taking some swings off of the batting tee on his off day. Have you ever seen that before?
Never. Man, I'm sure it's happened before, but no, never. That ball came up and in.
I mean, that just goes to show you that he is really eager to figure some things out. And I'm sure Marcus Thames was along with him. I'm sure Alan Cockrell, the other hitting coach, probably was with him as well. But I don't think I've ever seen a guy go to a local facility on the off day to get some swings in.
3-2 on Judge. Fouled away.
That's what Judge said. He says he keeps getting good pitches to hit. And when he gets the good pitch to hit nowadays, Mario, he's fouling it straight back as he did right here, versus earlier in the season when he would get that really good pitch to hit, he wouldn't miss it. I mean, this is a good pitch to hit right here for Aaron.
Ooh.
He wasn't missing those the first half of the season.
Yeah. And he walked again. So say what you will about all of the strikes out. That is his 93rd walk of the year. 3 of them tonight. And there are 2 on now with 1 out. That'll bring up Gregorius.
Yeah, be careful with the first pitch to Gregorius here. Sorry about that, partner.
I'm just going to say, here's your next question now. Do you have Judge falling out of the leading spot for MVP?
Yes, I do at this particular time. Altuve probably is the MVP right now for me in the American League. I mean, Judge is still right there, and he could pick it up again and get right back into it. Trout still will get some honorable mentions, but I think Altuve would be my pick if I had to choose today.
Right on cue, Gregorius swings on the first pitch and fouls it back. Single double for the Yankees shortstop. McCann out to the mound.
I mean, those numbers that Altuve are putting up, not the home runs obviously in the RBI the Judge has, but you look at the hits, the total bases, the doubles, the stolen bases, runners in scoring position. I mean, you name it, Altuve, he's been getting it done in Houston.
Altuve this year has 51 multi-hit games.
Ooh.
51. And he's batting .362.
And he's batting right in the middle of that order, too.
Yeah. 0-1 on Gregorius. And a check swing, 1 around. Dana DeMuth said he went 0-2. Ooh, close.
Man, really close. And Dana DeMuth down at third is the crew chief.
That'll get away from McCann, but not far enough.
And we talked about the fact that Sanchez has already had a couple of real nice blocks. That's a nice block there by McCann as well. Now, the whole object when you do block one, and that one might have jumped up and bit James. You just want to make sure the ball, when you do block it, you bend over at the waist ever so slightly. You get the glove between your legs, and you try to smother the baseball. You don't necessarily want to catch it, but you want to prevent it from going too far away from you.
Down he goes. Gregorius out of there. Strikeout for Suffold, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, good location on the 87-mile-per-hour two-seamer.
Tyler Austin now with 2 away. Ball 1. Soppold being asked to do what he has been asked many times this year, and that's to carve up some innings here and wait for that Tigers offense to come back.
Tigers have a couple of guys in their bullpen that have been very good in that regard. Soppold would be one, and Chad Bell has also eaten up some valuable innings in games this year.
Yeah, I would agree. Those 2 have been really good.
And both guys were starting down in the minor leagues.
Single by Sanchez, walk to Judge. They have 2 on with 2 outs. Austin has knocked in a couple of runs tonight. And then misses inside, 3-0. Chase Headley waiting on deck. Matthew Boyd tonight went 2 1/3 and was charged with all 7 of the Yankees runs so far. Swinging on 3-0, fouled it off.
Man, we're starting to see more and more guys swing 3-0. Dixon Machado swung at a 3-0 pitch on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something we've seen, well, a boatload more of this year.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, it's in Machado.
Do you hear what I said?
Yeah, he swung at a 3-0 pitch. Not Mickey, not Victor, Dixon Machado.
Dixon Machado swung at a 3-0 pitch the other day.
Here's the 3-1 outside, ball 4. That's going to load him up now. Second walk of the inning for Mr. Soppold.
A lot of free passes today. That's already 5 free passes given up by Tigers pitching here so far tonight.
Now Chase Headley, Sanchez, Judge, and Austin third to first down the bases.
And we told you that Headley, the last 29 games, he's hitting at a 340 clip. Probably swinging the bat better now than any time he's been a Yankee.
It's a heck of a pickup right there by McCann. Yeah, Headley has that average up to 276 now. He's 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Hit well to left field, Upton going back, still going back, runs it down in front of the wall. And the Yankees leave him loaded as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Check out some of Justin Upton's favorite things. His basket was handpicked by wife Ashley Upton. Autographed bat and jersey of J Up.
It beats by Dre.
20-ounce Vetty Rambler.
He got some tailor-made golf clubs and golf balls in there too.
When there was gummy bears in there as well.
You loved them gummy bears.
Oh man, I could eat those by the pound. Here are some of the updated bids. J-Ups right now at $975. Verlander's over $1,100. And again, you can go to Tigers.com to see all of the baskets. See which one you want to
look at
bid on.
Our basket not doing too bad right now.
What was it? I didn't
600 right now.
Nice. J-Up looks at ball 1 to get things going here in the bottom of the 4th. 1,000 for McCann's.
Mm.
'So there you go. You can bid all night long. Tap foul. Tanaka will face Upton, Cabrera, and Castellanos here in the 4th inning. Tigers got their only run in the 3rd when Kinsler doubled in a run with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. By the way, you can continue to bid until the first pitch of the 8th inning. So that's how long the auction will go tonight, the broadcast auction.
Can't take that huge swing against that Tanaka split-fingered fastball. You have to wait a little bit longer, which means you have to be a little shorter and a little quicker. And let's see if Jay Up makes the necessary adjustment here. Look at him. He's not missing out over the plate at all today, partner.
Nope.
I mean, everything on the corners, everything up, everything with a pitch purpose here today by Tanaka.
Now the 1-2. 2-2 now on Upton.
And one thing about Justin Upton, though, if you get that little split-fingered fastball a little bit too close to his body on the inner third of home plate and it's down, he'll hit it out of here. And that's what he's been doing a lot of these days. Left-handed breaking balls down and in. Breaking balls down and in.
Down he goes. Tanaka strikes him out.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The Yankees got on the board first. It was Gary Sanchez on a 2-1 changeup. He hit it 493 feet. And then you have Todd Frazier. He doesn't normally hit the ball down the right field line. I don't think he knew where it went, but he was rewarded with a triple and 3 RBI. And Ian Kinsler got the Tigers on the board last half inning. He doubled, and then he came home to score. Actually, he drove in McCann with the double.
Now here is Cabrera, who flied to right field, his only time up. Strike 1 on Miguel. And again, a well-placed breaking ball, bottom of the strike zone from Tanaka.
Well, he had command issues his last outing on the 4th, I believe it was, of August, but no command issues tonight for Tanaka. He's throwing a lot of strikes and quality strikes.
0-2. Well, Tanaka tonight. We'll see the flamethrower tomorrow night in Severino. Yankees, of course, picked up Jaime Garcia to bolster their rotation. We know the bullpen, even though Chapman has been demoted from the closer spot, we know, Rod, they've got some flamethrowers to the back end of that pen.
Oh, my goodness. Like no other pen I think I've ever seen. I mean, they've got 3 guys that are throwing 100 miles an hour out of their bullpen.
So that in itself will help them win ball games, but you know, you really have to have good starting pitching once the postseason comes around. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. MIKIE looks at a bender that missed outside.
Tanaka thought he had strike 3.
50 now for Tanaka.
Close pitch to take, but Miguel got the benefit of the doubt.
Cabrera came in 7 for his previous 15 at bats. There are times, Rod, where you see that he has these little mini stretches where you say, all right, he's back, he's going to take off now. But it just has not been able to catch hold for the entire season.
No, it really hasn't. And Miguel continues to go out there every single day.
Held up 3-2 now on Cabrera.
I mean, Miguel hasn't homered since July 28th. So, I mean, we're almost talking about a calendar month the last time Miguel has hit a home run.
And only 13 for the year. Swing and a miss. Down he goes via the strikeout. 3 of them now for Tanaka. 2 gone.
He loves that split-fingered fastball. You can see it clear his body out of the way, which allows that hand to get up and out in front. And this thing is tumbling at the bottom of the strike zone. He got Jay up on the 85-mile-per-hour splitter. He also got Miguel on the same pitch.
Man, you don't usually see Miguel miss a pitch by that much. Cabrera scratching his head right now. 2 gone. Here's Castellanos. Nick fly to center in his only at bat. He went around, says Ben May. We're talking to Brad before the game about Castellanos and how he has progressed in terms of learning right field. And Brad said he's not anywhere near ready yet. There is a possibility in September he might play some outfield. And you may think, well, what's the big deal? I mean, you're a big league ball player, but there's a lot to learn really at any position out there.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been working long and hard at the third base position, even though you have played some outfield. It's going to take some time with Dave Clark, the third base coach, who also handles the outfielders. He's the one responsible for working with Castellanos.
Back up the middle. On a backhand there to Reyes, and in time for the out. 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka. The play tonight, you see the division leaders are Boston, Cleveland, and Houston. Really the thing to keep an eye on is that wild card race, man. It is going to be interesting down the stretch.
Well, you look at those teams that are involved in it, the Angels, the Mariners, the Kansas City Royals. That Texas Rangers team, we just saw them. They were playing some great baseball.
What is the one common thread for all those teams below that yellow line? They're either at 500 or below. I mean, there's not a team really that has, aside from the Yankees, who had the first wild card spot, really kind of gone on a stretch.
It's been one of those kind of years where no one's really had a great season. Not any of the teams that are in the wild card hunt.
Frazier leads it off here in the 5th inning. Frazier, Torres, and Gardner. 7-1. The Yankees have the lead. And Frazier part of that with a 2-run triple to right field back in the 3rd. In there, a strike called. Warwick Soppold came on in the 3rd. They loaded the bases against him in the 4th, but did not score. Did not go. Ben May concurs. 2-2. Now the 2-2. Loop to left field and a base hit. Leadoff single for the Yankees here in the 5th inning. And the bits continue to roll in, so we check in with Matt Shepard.
Mario, thanks. That tote board continues to rise, and Allison Bell and the Tigers' late wives are really hoping to keep it going up there. Now, you've got a lot of things going on behind us that we're going to talk about that's in Chad's basket. This is the first time you've done this with the other Tigers' wives. What's the experience been like?
It's been awesome. We're having fun up here, answering phone calls, maybe eating on the side, and just having a blast.
How significant were you in the forming of his basket, and what do you like about the Chad Bell basket?
He kind of just left it in my hands and told me his hobbies, and so I said, you love golf, and so we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting because all the players I talked to said they put their baskets together, and now we're finding out the real people behind it. It's really the ladies who control the household, they control the budget, and they control this basket too. He's a big golfer. Are you a big golfer? And what are some of the things that you like most about the golfing prizes?
I'm not a golfer.
Okay.
I'm a driver or a caddy, you know, just standing around being his person that does everything.
You're driving the golf cart.
Yeah, or walking.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Is he a good golfer?
I think he is.
Well, you know what
He
he's
played
probably.
high school golf.
Well, he's probably like a lot of recreational golfers. A lot of recreational golfers think they're better than they really are, but we do know this. The Chad Bell basket is pretty darn good. Get the bids in, keep it rolling, because these ladies are working hard, but having a lot of fun. Back up to you, Mario.
All right, Shep, thank you, and thank Allison Bell for putting that little basket together, which has a ton of stuff and a lot of the golf stuff that Shep mentioned.
He played high school golf.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Chad Bell.
Had to get some lessons from Chad.
Gardner whistles one foul. The Yankees have 2 on now with nobody out. Here's the Chad Bell basket. Autographed glove and hat, Under Armour hat and shirt, and an assortment, a large assortment of golf equipment.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, nice. Again, go to Tigers.com if you'd like all of the baskets to see what is in there. You can text your bid to Tigers at 52182. Just one of the ways you can get involved, and again, all the proceeds to the Tigers Foundation. 0-2 on Gardner. 1-2 now on the Yanks leadoff man.
Meanwhile, these Yankees, man, they've got their hitting shoes on tonight. They already have 7 runs on 10 hits.
2 more singles here in the 5th.
Already career high in home runs for Brett Gardner with 20.
Ground ball to first, gobbled out there by MIKIE. He'll go to second, they'll get 1, and that's it. Gardner is too speedy to turn 2 on that.
I like the way that Miguel made this play. Miguel knew that he did not have to rush because he knew they were only going to get 1 out. So he really took his time, and he made sure that he gave Iglesias a really firm throw at second base to get the out. They were not going to turn 2, as you mentioned, and wisely, the ball is held by Iglesias. Look at MIKIE take his time and give him a really nice firm throw. Flipped it over to Iglesias.
First and third now with 1 out for Aaron Hicks. Single strikeout flyout for Hicks tonight. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
You know, we were talking about Hicks his last time up. When he was with Minnesota, he lives in Southern California, and so does Rod Carew. And every single winter, you know, Rod Carew and also Aaron Hicks would work out in the offseason. It's not that he wasn't putting in the work, but they just did not see any of those rewards while he was playing in Minnesota. Sometimes a change of scenery is good, too.
I would agree with that. You know, having Rod Carew in your system to hand out some hitting advice is awfully good. He was one of the greats. 0-1 the count on Hicks. Way high. Belted foul down the right field line. That'll run the count to 1-2 on Hicks. Seven and 1. The Yankees have the lead. They raced out to a 7-0 advantage. Now the 1-2. Little chopper slowly to the first baseman. Cabrera tried to barehand it. Thought about coming home with it, and everybody is safe.
And MIKIE will get an error on that play. And MIKIE wisely came in. He was going to barehand the ball, knowing that Frazier running from third base doesn't run very well. So he was simply going to grab it and then try to get the out at home plate. But once he missed it, tried to get the out at first, but Sophold wasn't on the bag.
8-1 Yankees lead now. First and second, still only one out in the heart of the lineup coming up. Think he had to play at home on that?
Well, with Frazier running, and possibly had to play at home. Here's the big boy, big play of the game. And Gary Sanchez stepped up in the very first inning in a 2-1 count, got a changeup, and hit it 493 feet from home plate. Furthest ball hit at Comerica Park since it's been in existence.
Sanchez fouls it back 0-1.
Sanchez doesn't get cheated either, does he?
No.
You know, Sanchez was struggling about 3 weeks ago. He wasn't swinging the bat very well, and he got a call from his good buddy Alex Rodriguez, and Alex took him to lunch, and he also took J-Lo with him. And since then, partner, he's been hitting a little bit.
Nice.
Would you go to lunch with him?
It's a little bit out of my league, above my pay grade, but to answer your question, yes. I mean, by J-Lo, I thought you might have meant John Lowenstein or something. I don't know.
No, you know who J-Lo is.
I do. More action in the Tigers bullpen. The Tigers right now are down 8-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, it was the fielder's choice. No RBI. No error on that play to MIKIE. One ball, 1 strike. Gary Sanchez. 2-1. Aaron Judge waiting on deck. Have you ever seen J-Lo in concert?
No, I have not. I have not.
But you would go to lunch with her, though, wouldn't you?
I would go. I had to get permission first, though. How's that not an error, though? I'm having a tough time understanding that play.
I agree.
I mean, because one, Hicks does not get an RBI. I mean, and they're calling it a fielder's choice, but no error. I'm not understanding that play.
Well, I think I would tend to agree with you. If he fields that ball cleanly, there's a chance to get the out at home plate, but at the very least, an out at first base. Here's the 3-1. Let's see if MIKIE can get over there. He's on a sprint and can't quite get there.
It's a great hustle by Miguel. MIKIE a lot slimmer, too, than we've seen him the last couple of years.
Yeah. And as we all know, as you get older, it takes more and more work to stay slimmer.
Absolutely.
Unless you got that Rod Allen metabolism.
I wish I had some good metabolism.
3-2. Another run in for the Yanks. We're in the 5th inning. 8-1 they lead. Line foul. He got a fastball up at his eyes and drilled it back in the seats.
He's got a lightning quick bat.
50 now for Soppold in relief. Hence Verhagen warming up in the Tigers bullpen. And again, they 3-2. Swing and a miss. Sanchez out of there. And we'll check in now with Matt Shepard. More on Aaron Judge.
Guys, you did a real nice job earlier tonight during the broadcast of talking about his struggles, and it would be easy for a 25-year-old to get down, but he's had 3 walks here tonight. I had a chance to talk with him earlier today. If he's struggling, and he is, 169 since the All-Star break, only 9 extra base hits and striking out over 37% of the time. You're not noticing it in his approach, the way he handles things mentally, and even talking with a lot of the Yankee veterans. They've talked about how impressed they are with how he goes about his business on a daily basis. He's done a good job, I think, of letting the game come to him and not letting that streak of 37 straight games with at least 1 strikeout weigh him down. I don't know if he'll break out of it here tonight, but you can understand why so many people give this kid a lot of credit and look at him as one of the futures of baseball right now.
There is no doubt, and he is one of the faces of baseball going forward. And he'll drive one to left center field. That's going to get down a base hit. That'll get another run in, and Judge has had a huge night. 3 walks and now an RBI single.
I was getting ready to say, Shep, that the fact that he has taken 3 base on balls already here tonight is an indication that he is going to bust out of the slump that he has been in, and he whistled that ball into left field for a solid single and an RBI.
Yeah, Rod, I really like him. I mean, I was really impressed. It would be easy to sit there, go and hide, especially on the road. You know, when so many people want to talk to you about your struggles. He faced the music, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but for us in the media it does. He faced the music, he goes about his business, he's ready to go back to work. And you guys showed it earlier in the broadcast on his ability to go out to, you know, Farmington Hills or Novi, wherever it was, to take some extra batting swings yesterday. Really impressive for a guy who's only 25 in his first year in the league.
Impressive indeed. On base 4 times tonight. We've got a Wellside Windows pitching change, and we'll be back. Nine to 1, and Drew Verhagen coming out of the Tigers bullpen.
Verhagen was starting when he was down in the minor leagues, and he started a couple of games here in the big leagues, but now he is pitching out of the bullpen. Yeah, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, throws a lot of ground balls with a really good 2-seam fastball when he's at the bottom of the zone.
Here is Gregorius with 2 men on, 2 men out.
Yeah, he'll be hacking, especially with runners in scoring position if he gets a fastball.
Ball 1 to Gregorius. Single, double, run scored. .311 batting average now for the Yankees shortstop.
He is really coming to his own. 18 homers, 58 driven in. This guy had one of the toughest assignments of anybody in baseball a couple of years ago when he had to replace the captain. He had Derek Jeter at the shortstop position.
Well, he's embraced it.
He really has.
And the move, it was the move that brought Shane Green to Detroit. And Robbie Ray went from the Tigers to Arizona. Swing and a miss. You know, say, Rod, New York is not for everyone, and some players thrive there, some players don't.
And then some players struggle early and they never recover. But Didi struggled early, but he was able to relax because Joe Girardi just continued to tell him, don't worry about your bat. Just catch the ball. I mean, he basically told that to him his first year. Just make all the plays at shortstop. You'll hit. And he's turned out to be a really good hitter.
Two and one on Gregorius. Ball three.
I kind of admire the way that Joe Girardi's handled Aaron Judge as well the last couple of weeks when he's been getting a lot of questions of when you're going to take him out of the number 3 spot, when you're going to sit him down, when you're going to give him a break. And Joe just continues to tell everybody, you know what? He's a young kid. Everybody's going to go through a stretch like this. I'm going to leave him right in the middle of that batting order because he continues to do positive things.
Little chopper to the right side. That'll be Kinsler there, and he'll throw him out to end the inning. Couple of runs in for the Yankees. Allison Bell and the Tigers wives taking your calls right now in the broadcast auction. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire for tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet. Go for thrilling drives and deals at the Chevy Summer Drive. Chevrolet. Find new roads. Back here at the ballpark, Tanaka goes back to the hill facing Victor Martinez to get it rolling here in the bottom of the 5th. 9-1 Yankees have the lead, and Tanaka curls one around the outside corner for strike one.
Not a lot of hard contact tonight against Tanaka. And the Tigers only have 2 hits, but more importantly, they have not hit many balls hard today against the right-hander. His fastball's probably topped out at about 93.
Emard couldn't hold up.
And he's thrown a ton of those right there. That split-fingered fastball, they just cannot pick it up today.
When you face a guy that has a really good splitter, is there anything you can do in terms of how you approach the bat?
Well, you can scoot up in the batter's box if you choose to do so, that maybe you can catch it before it does tumble over the plate if you want to try to take that pitch away from him. But you also have to make sure that you see the ball up above the thighs. And if you see it up, then generally speaking, you might have a chance of getting a good hit at it. But as you can see on this last pitch to Victor Martinez, the splitter today is just simply nasty for him. It's an outstanding pitch.
We'll bring up James McCann. We're going back to college with Nissan. James McCann is a Razorback. He went to Arkansas, and here are the numbers his junior year. He stole 11 bags that year.
Did he? Well, we've always talked about the fact that he's got some decent speed for a guy that squats behind the plate with regularity. He also met his wife at college.
He did.
So college was good for James.
Wife Jessica was also a Razorback. One gone for McCann, who's singled to get it started in the third. It was the first Tigers hit against Tanaka. How about the bid on the James McCann basket? It's at $1,000 so far. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on McCann. Here's White Jessica, hard at work at the phones. $1,000 right now for that James McCann basket. So right now he's leading the way in that group. To center field on a line. Hicks is there. 2 gone. That'll bring up Presley. Again, you can make your bids until the first pitch of the 8th inning, so we still have some time. You can place a bid by texting Tigers to 52182, or there's the phone number 313-471-2026 to make your bid. Presley now with 2 outs. Ball 1 from Tanaka. It's starting to look, Rod, like Mr. Tanaka is going to be key down the stretch for the Yankees in their bid, not only to catch the Red Sox, but also to win a wild card if that's the route it goes.
Agreed. I believe that's one of the reasons why they put him on the disabled list with that shoulder discomfort. They wanted to slow him down a little bit. Not only do they need him healthy down the stretch, they also need CC Sabathia healthy down the stretch. CC pitched a really good game a couple of days ago against the Boston Red Sox.
CC went from thinking about retiring to pitching a really good game.
That's right.
You know, there's been a lot of injuries recently. We talked about the Miller and Salazar injuries for the Indians. Sano's on the DL for the Twins. It's a time of the year where you try and keep your guys healthy, but it can be tough. Little bouncer foul.
I do believe as well, though, with the new 10-day disabled list, it's no longer 15 days. So really, it's not that difficult of a decision if you want to put a pitcher on the DL for 10 days. Basically, he's only going to miss 1 start. And you're going to calm a guy's shoulder down or give a guy a little extra rest. Several teams have used that disabled list this year to their advantage.
1-2 on Presley, who flied out to right field. Skies this one again to right field. Aaron Judge is measuring it. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 for Tanaka. Daniel Norris down at AAA Toledo made another rehab start, and he went 3 1/3 in that ball game. Rod did walk 4, but struck out 5 in the game.
Well, I think the key with Daniel is the fact that he's healthy, and the walks are an issue, but obviously what the Tigers would love to see for him to continue to make those starts and continue to leave those starts healthy until he can get back on a big league mound.
Daniel probably looking at one more rehab start, and then we'll see what happens after that. Meantime, Yankees lead it here 9-1 as we go to the 6th. Drew Verhagen goes back to work, and ball 1 to Tyler Austin. He's had a big game tonight. He's got a couple of RBIs, single, walk, run scored.
He's got good power. He loves to hit fastballs.
Ball 2. Verhagen came on to replace Sappold, who replaced the starter Matthew Boyd tonight, who was taken out of the game in the 3rd. Ball 3 high, 3-0 now on Tyler Austin.
And doubt very seriously whether Austin will be swinging here in a 3-0 situation, up by 8.
Three and 1. Austin a couple of years ago in the 2010 draft was a 13th round pick. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
Good fastball there thrown by Verhagen at 94 miles an hour with a lot of late life on that 2-seamer. This is 94 with movement. Ball ran in on Austin.
Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Austin out on strikes, 1 gone.
Yeah, nice job there by Verhagen coming back to get Austin after falling behind. 3 balls, no strikes. Good 2-seam fastball. It's one of the reasons why Verhagen gets so many ground balls.
Chase Headley will stand in. Strike 1 in the outer edge. Headley is 0 for 2 with a walk. A chopper right to first, and MIKIE makes the play, and there are 2 gone. Well, the Tigers' wives are standing by to take your bid in the Favorite Things auction. Support the Tigers Foundation by placing a bid or purchasing a bow tie. Call 313-471-2026 or text Tigers to 52182. Tigers' wives are standing by to take your bid and help out the Detroit Tigers Foundation. Ball 1 to Todd Frazier. Single, triple, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Ball 2. Yankees made a trade with the White Sox to bolster their bullpen, getting Robertson and Canely, but they also took Frazier in that deal. The 2-0 pitch is in there, 2-1.
That was a really good deal for the New York Yankees. They got 2 really good arms.
Grounder back up the middle and into center, a base hit. 3rd hit of the game for Frazier. That'll keep it going now for Torres. That is the 12th hit now for New York.
Torres has swung at the first pitch every time up today. I mean, he is slashing up there.
Torres is a little guy.
Yes, he is.
They got him listed at 5'8", 151.
That's a stretch.
High fly ball to left field. Jay up is under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. To the bottom of the 6th we go.
with you at Comerica Park for a game break brought to you by Ram Trucks. The Tigers Wives broadcast auction in full swing, but we'd like to get a little help for our Fox Sports Detroit favorite things basket. Up to $650, which isn't too bad, but it's not James McCann basket good. He's leading the way at $1,600 bid so far. Heck, Mario Pempa's favorite gummy bears are worth $650 alone.
That's right.
I mean, look at all the food in this thing. Selden Standard, courtesy of Rod Allen, my friends at the Union Wood Shop, chipping in Clarkston. And I know when you get done eating all that food, you can play some golf.
Well, you have to play some
Monroe,
golf.
right?
Titleist Pro V1 golf balls that I put in our basket for the Fox Sports. So come on, guys. Come on. Make the calls. Call the wives. And let's get some more money in there.
We can do better than
$650. I don't want to come in last. I mean, we got to go.
There's a lot of food in there, and there's Think Thin protein bars, courtesy of Johnny Kane. Come on, Johnny. Who wants to snack on Think Thin protein bars? Give me Mario's gummy bears all day. All right, $650, the current bid for the Fox Sports Detroit favorite things basket. James McCann, though, leading the way.
$1,600 for James McCann. Good for him.
Good stuff in there. His wife Jessica putting it all together tonight, guys.
Jessica's putting a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Kane, man. Protein bars.
He's healthy. You're going to make sure you stay healthy.
Well, Seymour's right, man. We need some help. Let's go. Get on the phones, please. We don't want to finish last. Tanaka back to work here. 1-2, the count on Iglesias. He's got Iggy and then Kinsler and MAHTOOK. 9-1, Yanks lead. The 1-2. Bouncing in. Sanchez scoops it up 2-2. Iglesias lined out to the second baseman in his only trip to the plate so far. As you look at the first pitch strikes for Masahiro.
13 of 18. That is outstanding. One of the reasons why he's kind of had his way through the first 5 frames of this contest.
Chopper up the middle. Here's Gregorius. Quick flip. Saved at first base.
Ooh, Iglesias has got some really good speed. And Didi Gregorius, outstanding shortstop. He gloves it. He exchanges to the throwing hand. He throws off balance because he has to get the ball across the diamond in a hurry to try to get Iglesias. Looks like Iglesias gets that front foot on the bag before. And that ball gets into Headley's glove.
Infield hit for Iggy, the third hit of the game for the Tigers. It'll bring up Kinsler. Ian responsible for the Tigers' only run so far. Run scoring double in the third. Ground ball to third, short hop there. They'll go to second one, and that's a double play.
Ian does not hit into many double plays at all.
Frazier, nice play down at third base.
And let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We told you that Tanaka has had an outstanding day today. He starts the Tigers off, a lot of them with fastballs, but then he goes to this split-fingered fastball, which has been a tremendous pitch for him all day. Lots of soft contact. You can see some tumble up, some tumble down, but the fact of the matter is they really haven't been able to put it in play with any kind of consistency, and when not throwing that splitter, he's had a really good slider. Lots of swing and misses today for Tanaka.
Mikey pops it up. Shallow right field for Judge. And very quickly that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. 6 in the books. Ballpark 9-1. The Yankees have the lead. They raced out to a 7-0 edge early on in this one, knocking Matthew Boyd out of the game, and they have built upon that. Got the top of the order coming up here. Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, and Gary Sanchez facing Drew Verhagen. Third Tigers pitcher of the night. Gardner is 0 for 4. Ball 1 skips inside. He is the longest tenured Yankee, and we've talked about how the Yanks typically through the years have been veteran teams. A lot of money has been spent on big free agents, older guys that have had long track records, and now you look in the middle of their lineup. That ball lined to right field and over the head of Presley. Going to go to the wall. Gardner picking him up and laying him down. He's coming to third base, and he's going to be safe with a diving triple.
And Gardner is a veteran on the team. He's been in the big leagues for a decade now, but he still has tremendous speed. And once this ball got over Presley's head in right field, we knew that that's triples alley out there. And Gardner, man, he didn't break stride.
His third of the year.
A lot of the younger players as well give Gardner a lot of credit for being a leader on their team and a guy they can come to and talk to. It's a 94-mile-per-hour pitch that got in on him, but he hit it over the head of Presley, right over the outstretched glove, and then he was off and running.
He has carved out a really good big league career. Not bad for a guy who was a walk-on in college.
Yeah.
Now the infield coming in for the Tigers. Anyway, the point I was going to make prior to that triple was, you know, you're used to seeing all of the high-paid veterans. Now you look at their lineup, and their 3-hitter and their 4-hitter are young guys.
Yeah.
Sanchez and Judge.
One's 24, one's 25.
The 0-1. Bouncing in.
Jacoby Ellsbury, another veteran on their squad, but he's not playing these days because Judge and Gardner and now Hicks. Yeah, back off the disabled list, getting all the playing time.
Ooh, Hicks drills one to right field. That ball is way back, and it is gone. A line drive home run for Aaron Hicks. And 2 more in for the Yankees.
You know, it used to be a time, partner, where a guy like Ellsbury was making that kind of glue. He wouldn't sit on the bench. And the guys that weren't making money would not be playing. But those days are kind of long and gone now. Hicks has had a wonderful year, and he's playing center field every single day. That's a fastball that's upstairs that he just scalded to right field.
A no-doubter. Number 13 for Hicks.
Yankees came in here a little angry after losing 2 of 3 to the Boston Red Sox over the weekend.
Apparently so. Sanchez got them on the board in the first inning with a 493-foot homer. Swing and a miss. That last one, by comparison, was only 436. Rather pedestrian of Hicks.
436 on the line, too.
Right.
Line drive.
Well, the Yankees came in a plus 111 in run differential in the American League, which was 3rd best, and they have put up 11 runs tonight. And Sanchez out of there on strikes. First out of the inning. It looks like Ellsbury's going to bat now for Judge.
Well, the strikeout streak ends.
Good for him.
Good for Joe Torre. I mean, good for Joe Girardi. Gonna make sure he doesn't strike out tonight.
Judge had 3 walks, a single, an RBI, and scored a couple of runs. And he'll give way to Ellsbury.
He's at least smiling on that bench.
It's over.
It's over now.
Little chopper right back to the mound, fielded there by Verhagen. 2 gone. Let's check back in with Matt Shepard. Shep.
Mario, Kristen Wilson is working really hard, working those phones and making sure people who donate to the Tigers Foundation. And Alex has a really cool bag because he's an outdoors kind of guy. What's in his bag?
He has a 4-hour fishing trip out on Lake St. Clair, and it can take 1 or 2 anglers, and it's a Bassmaster. I mean, he was qualified 4 times. So we have that, and we have a trout fillet knife. It's custom made here from a Michigan company. Alex and I try to keep all of our items local and keep it in Michigan, so that's kind of his basket. And Moose Jaw is a big contributor. We love Moose Jaw. We go in there and get some nice items. So.
He's a big hunter and fisherman, and of course Kristen is out there making sure that she's casting those lines and pulling in those big bass. Jump on board. You can text or you can call. It's for a great cause. The Tigers could use it, and the Tigers could use some runs right now too. Right now they trail the Yankees 11-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Thanks, Kristen. We'll be back.
In the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch, and it's all Yankees here tonight, 11-1 in favor of the Bombers, who've been bombing tonight. And Jacoby Jones is going to hit here for Justin Upton. Jacoby just recalled from AAA Toledo, and he'll look at a ball outside. Meanwhile, Ellsbury stays in the game. He'll play center field. Hicks moves to right. The 1-0 to Jones. And is in there, a strike called. Well, it's a good opportunity now for Jacoby, who went down to the minor leagues. These strikeouts were piling up. He was batting just 137 when he was sent down earlier this year. Little chopper, third base side. It's going to be a foul ball. So he will have an opportunity, I think, Rod, to kind of reestablish himself here down the stretch, heading into spring training next year. We'll see how the Tigers want to line up their outfield, but they still believe in this kid, I think.
Oh, absolutely. You can't give up on a kid this young with this much talent. He's got power. He's got arm strength. He can run. He can play defense. He has a chance to be a 5-tool player at this level. He really does.
1-2 on Jones. Two and two. Jacoby wears that face guard. You might remember that before he was sent down, he was hit in the face by a pitch in Minnesota. And so ever since has worn that, and I think he told you that he was going to wear that, I think, for the rest of his career.
He did. But you know what else? There's a lot of guys in baseball that are wearing this same type of protective device around the face now. Guys that have never been hit in the face before.
Bouncer right back to the mound, and Tanaka throws him out. One gone. We check back in with Matt Shepard.
Mario, Justin Verlander's fiance Kate Upton is working the call center with other Tigers' wives tonight for the Tigers' wives auction. But earlier today, she was at Wayne State at Harwell Stadium working out with Marines and other Tigers' wives as they prepare and try to bring awareness for Marine Week, which takes place September 9th here in Detroit. It's a big deal because the Marines could have chosen a lot of different cities. They chose Detroit. Kate Upton was out there doing the workouts. They were doing burpees, they were doing military push-ups, they were doing toe touches, and they were doing a run after that. So 8 circuits of that all in a row. I was tired just watching them. The ladies did a wonderful job, and again, it brings awareness to a very important cause for Kate Upton, Justin Verlander, and the Tigers' wives. Marine Week coming in early September. Fellas, back to you.
Hey, Shep, I'm kind of surprised that you did not get involved.
Well, I was thinking about it, Rod. I really was.
No, you weren't.
No, truly I was. I brought my tennis shoes. I brought my workout outfit, and then I realized Kate Upton in spandex, Matt Shepard in shorts and a t-shirt. That's not gonna fly. That's not making anybody's highlights. It's not making any B-roll. I might have lasted half that circuit, Rod. It was a tough circuit, and the sergeant who was in charge of it, she was yoked. I mean, cut. She got after it. It was awesome. It was fun to watch. I did pick up some tips.
Okay.
I got, just sweaty just thinking about trying to do that workout, but it was great. It really was.
Yoked. I love it. Thanks, Shep. Well, the Tigers now have a man on with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The pinch hitter Hicks with a double. Here's Castellanos. Fly ball right field on a line. Ball hit well to the wall and gone. A line drive home run for Nick Castellanos. That is his 17th of the year. (11-3) ball game.
Yeah, pretty good swing here by Castellanos. I mean, it's a tumbler that doesn't do a whole lot, and Castellanos barreled it up very nicely. That is now the 29th home run that Tanaka has given up.
And we'll get a visit on the mound now as they get some action in their bullpen. Chasen Shreve beginning to warm up. Romine is going to pinch hit for Victor Martinez. Tigers emptying the bench now, and they've gotten a couple of runs back. Nick with that patented opposite field swing. That'll give him an even 70 RBIs. Romine takes a strike.
And Romine had a pretty nice day on Sunday. And a couple of doubles in the contest that afternoon. And Tigers beat the Los Angeles Dodgers.
There's a fair ball to third base. Looks like extra bases. Romine on his way to second. The throw. Oh, he's going to be out.
Ooh, Romine has to look up. Brett Gardner got to that ball way too quickly and fired a strike and to throw Romine out. And Brett Gardner does not have a strong throwing arm, but he has very fast legs, and he got to this ball in a hurry and threw a strike to second base. You can see Romine, once he gets to first base, he's not even looking up. He's not even looking at left field. He's thinking 2 out of the batter's box, and then he gets on his way, and then he knows once he gets halfway, it's probably a little bit too, he probably should have stayed.
He'll get credited for a single thrown out at second. 2 gone now for McCann. Strike one on James. Tigers now have 6 hits. Single run scored for the Tigers catcher tonight. Fouled off 0-2 on James. Tanaka right now is only at 86 pitches.
Yeah, pitch count in great shape.
Rolled foul just outside of the bag at third. First of 3 between these two squads. Tigers on the road Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the new look White Sox. And then on to Colorado as well.
Yeah, a lot of those young prospects the White Sox have accumulated the last couple of years are in the big leagues now. I think Giolito's making a start tonight for the White Sox.
Ball high. Giolito, Kopech.
Yeah, they've called all those guys up.
Fulmer,
Machado.
Yeah, they got a lot of good young pitching talent, but that Yohan Moncada, man, he's, I guess, the jewel of their system.
Yeah, he was the #1 rated player in the minor leagues. #1 prospect in all of baseball. That's what you have to give up when you want to acquire a pitcher the caliber of a Chris Sale.
Yep.
And Sale has not been disappointing at all in a Boston Red Sox uniform. He already has 250 strikeouts, Mario.
Oh. We got a month to go in the year.
And he's averaging 10 a night. He might get to 300 this year.
Ground ball left side. Frazier has it there. And McCann is out to end the inning. Tigers get a couple of runs on the home run by Castellanos. Time running out right now to make your bid. Last chance. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight. Presented by Bell Tire. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. It has been all Yankees tonight. And the Tigers and Yanks will travel to the 8th inning. Yankees on top 11-3 in this game. Tigers have a bunch of changes. We'll start with the guy on the mound, Joe Jimenez, in a Wallside Windows pitching change.
And Jimenez's velocity has been down just a little bit since coming back up to the major leagues from the minor leagues. His average fastball right around 93, 94. He throws the slider quite a bit, about 23% of the time, and when not throwing the fastball or the slider. He's got a changeup that he likes.
Jimenez replacing Verhagen. Tyler Austin leads it off and looks at ball one high.
Yeah, good fastball there at 96.
MAHTOOK now in left. Jones stays in the game and plays center. Machado has replaced Kinsler at second.
Yeah, Brad's gotten all his veterans off the field.
Yeah.
MIKIE and Victor, Ian, and Jay up.
Here's the 1-0. 2-0 now on Tyler Austin. Fourth pitcher used tonight by the Tigers, Joe Jimenez. That's in there for a strike. That last fastball in 94.
Yeah, Tigers have a very young bullpen. I mean, you have a guy like Alex Wilson who's in the bullpen, but by and large, and Alex really hasn't been in the bullpen that long. It's just a very young bullpen.
Now the 2-1. Well, we talk about the teams that really have a lot of success with the good bullpens, but a lot of those guys have been around a while. They've closed a lot of games in the big leagues. You know, Shane Green, for as talented as he is, and boy, he's been lights out this year. He's still fairly young to relieving.
He's only been out there for a couple of years.
Way outside, 3-2.
And you look at this Yankees bullpen, they have a guy like Aroldis Chapman who's closed a lot of games. He throws 100 miles an hour. Tommy Kahnle, who they acquired along with Robertson from the Chicago White Sox, he throws 100. And Robertson's had an outstanding year. And Betances, he's another guy that can reach triple digits. So it's a different kind of bullpen they have here in New York.
Three and 2 on the leadoff man, Tyler Austin. Chase Headley to follow, and then Todd Frazier. Ground ball to short. Iglesias right there. Austin is out, one away. Well, fans commemorate the inaugural Players Weekend, August 25th through the 27th, to the MLBshop.com with limited edition Tiger jerseys and tees featuring player pick nicknames. Wear the gear the Tigers players will, in fact, all players will, on the field next weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com. That's going to be interesting.
What would you throw on the back of your jersey? What would be your nickname?
I'd have to think about that. Probably the thing that I'm called the most, and that would be Super Mario. So I guess Super.
Super?
Yeah, I guess. I have to think about it. How about you? Hot Rod?
No, probably Rocket Rod.
That's even better.
Yeah, probably Rocket Rod.
Is that what they used to call you in your playing days?
I've had a lot of nicknames.
Yeah?
Hot Rod, Rocket Rod, Mule, Shaker. A lot of them.
Well, now you got to explain Mule and Shaker.
Well, Mule, Steve Swisher gave me that nickname when I played AAA with him a couple of years in Buffalo.
Did you carry the load?
I did.
Ah,
I drove in a lot of runs. He just called me Mule. I drove in 100 runs for him one year, and then one year I drove in 87 in back-to-back years in AAA. So that's how that nickname kind of stuck.
Well, people look at 100 RBIs and say, well, okay, that's good. You know, the good hitters do that. But that's in a minor league season.
Yeah, I was the only player in the minor leagues to drive in 100 runs that year. The only player.
A full month less than the big league schedule. The 2-1 pitch. Roll to first, foul. What about Shaker?
I don't know why Dave Clark used to call me Shaker all the time.
Is that right?
I don't know if I used to wiggle a little bit in the batter's box or what.
2-2. Chase Headley. 11-3. Yanks have the lead here in the 8th. Outside, run the count full now, 3-2.
And ball coming out of Jimenez's hand nicely tonight. 96 with the majority of his fastballs.
Pretty well hit to left field, but it's going to be run down by MAHTOOK. 2 gone. Todd Frazier now with 2 outs.
When are they going to wear those jerseys? Next weekend?
This weekend coming up in Chicago.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be a 3-day event, I understand.
Looking forward to seeing the creativity of the names that the players have chosen.
Here's Frazier now, and ball 1. I know Kinsler has told the story about Bootsy.
Bootsy.
We had not heard that nickname until, well, this year, but that's something Ron Washington stuck on him in Texas.
Really, Bootsy? That sounds like a name your mom would stick on you.
Bootsy, you get in this house right now.
Yeah, come here, Bootsy.
What had happened was Kinsler broke his leg early in his career, or his foot, I should say, with the Rangers, and had to wear a boot. And so Ron Washington started calling him Bootsy.
And it stuck.
And it stuck. 2-0 on Frazier. Up and in. 3-0. Now, I don't know what Todd Frazier is going to wear on his back, but down goes, I think, would be a good one for him.
It's probably going to be the Todd father.
Yeah, probably. Here's the 3-0. 3-1 on Frazier. Torreyes on deck. Wade has moved to the on deck circle for Torreyes. There's a strike call. 3-2 now on Frazier. Swing and a miss. Frazier is out of there. And 1, 2, 3 go the Yanks in the 8th. Well, we all know about the eclipse yesterday in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the Whitecaps were playing. They got everybody on the field. Everybody had their glasses. There goes the eclipse. Everybody get off.
It was quick, wasn't it?
Really kind of cool that happened in Bowling Green, Kentucky yesterday where the Whitecaps were playing. Did you happen to look up with glasses?
I did not.
No, I didn't either.
I did not.
Chasen Shreve is on now in a wall side windows change. And he will face Presley to get things started here as the Tigers now look at some video on Shreve.
Yep, Lloyd's got the tablet out. You know what? I was scared to look up. I played golf yesterday, and as a matter of fact, I was not going to go play golf because I was afraid that I was going to want to look up there.
Yeah.
But I went and played, and I didn't look up. I didn't have the glasses either. I mean, where'd you get the glasses from anyway?
Well, they were hard to come by. I mean, because they were sold out.
Yeah.
Presley.
What was Brad talking about today, the way that he looked at it? What did he say, through a cereal box?
Yeah, through a cereal box. He cut a little hole in the box.
Right.
It's the old-fashioned way instead of using glasses. And then kind of look through that little hole in the box. I don't know why that protects you, but
right.
I don't know enough about it. 1-1 on Presley.
Now, had I known that you could take a cereal box and take a peek up there, I might have tried to do it.
Well, let's see. You'll have another chance in 2024. That's the next eclipse. Popped up foul. Sanchez will give a look. And he has through, but can't hang on. Presley still alive.
And not the easiest of plays for and Sanchez, but one that he probably makes.
They have ruled that a no play. So no error given to Sanchez. Swing and a miss, and Presley down on strikes, one gone. By the way, here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. And we're going to see some flamethrower tomorrow night from Luis Severino.
Yeah, he's got a big league arm. He's won 10 games this year already. His fastball gets up into the upper 90s. And he'll be going up against Jordan Zimmerman. And Jordan Zimmerman trying to get back on the winning track.
There's Jordan, who put together a couple of really good starts and was starting to look like that slider was coming back around, which had been a devastating pitch for him in the past.
And he had that one really good start against the Pittsburgh Pirates, too, where he gave up that home run real late to John Jay. So he only gave up 3 runs in that game. But he felt like he used his curveball too much that day. And since that day, he really hasn't used that curveball all that much. And it was such a great pitch for him that day when we were in Pittsburgh.
Here's Iglesias.
And Jordan also made a little bit of an adjustment, and we'll talk about it a lot more tomorrow. He went from standing on the third base side of the rubber all the way over to the first base side of the rubber in his last outing. So he made an adjustment by where he stands on the mound midstream in his last outing.
Jeff Farrell now warming up in the Tigers bullpen. Tigers had to go to the bullpen early tonight with Matthew Boyd being knocked out in the third. The Yankees raced out to a 7-0 lead. They lead 11-3 right now.
Yeah, Yankees have a real tough stretch of games coming up. They will play 39 of the next 41 days. They only have 2 days off in that stretch.
Tigers had that stretch of what, 21 in a row.
Right.
And every team goes through it. You have that one stretch where you're just begging for a day off. When you have those kinds of stretches late in the season, they become really challenging.
They're a whole lot easier to go through as well when you're winning. Hard to believe Girardi's been a Yankee manager for 10 years now.
I know it. Time rolling by. 2008, his first year.
His mentor obviously was Joe Torre, who managed him when he wore the Yankee pinstripes. He was once the manager of the year with the Florida Marlins and got fired.
Hook down the left field line, fair ball. It'll go to the corner. It'll be extra bases for Iglesias. He'll saunter in with a 1-out double.
It's a pretty nice pitch that Iglesias went down to get. It's a breaking ball in the inner third, hit down in the corner. And Jose with his 24th double of the season.
So Machado gets his first at bat. He came in the game as a defensive replacement for Kinsler. Last half inning. Dixon at 294. This year, Machado getting his first extended look at the major league level. And what we have seen this year, based on the fact that he's gotten sporadic at bats, has been really good.
He had a big hit a couple of days ago. As a matter of fact, it was the hit that drove in a couple of runs early, not early in the game, but when they finally got to Kenta Maeda, the starter for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He drove in a couple of runs. He drove in Romine and also Hicks.
Shreve coming in for the starter, Tanaka, who was good through 7. It'll dive in the dirt, ball 1. Shreve is in his 3rd stint with the Yankees this year. He's got a little bit of an odd setup. In fact, he almost has his back face the hitter when he finally comes to a pause. He is not squared up.
Yeah, when you're not a hard thrower, and Shreve would not fall into that category as being a hard thrower, man, you got to try to find some kind of deception, and this is the way that he's found that deception to hide the baseball.
And it'll bounce in. Now the count goes 3-1. Tigers tonight have been out hit 14-7. The Yankees have also left 9 men on base. The 3-1. Full count now on Machado. MIKIE MAHTOOK will bat next. Tigers have taken a lot of the starters out of the game. Kinsler, Upton, Cabrera, Victor Martinez. In the air, shallow right field. It's going to be playable. Hicks makes the catch, 2 gone.
Here's the 1-800 call Sam call of the game. The Tigers wives and taking all the phone calls tonight. And Detroit Tigers Foundation reaping the benefits of all the items that have been bid on tonight. Just about every single player had a basket, and it looks like the girls had a lot of fun answering the phones.
No doubt, absolutely. They have fun every year doing this. As you mentioned, for the Detroit Tigers Foundation. And stick around for Tigers Live postgame. They will announce the winners of all those baskets. Here is MIKIE MAHTOOK. Strike 1 to MIKIE. 0 for 3 in this game. Couple of fly balls and a ground out. That is a serious Yankees fan. Going back to the Iron Horse. Derek Jeter.
You know what I was surprised, partner? Over the weekend, the Dodgers had a lot of fans here.
Really?
There was a lot of Dodger fans here. And it looks like there's quite a few Yankee fans in attendance as well. know, you think of Dodgers, West Coast, not going to be that many people here wearing that blue. A lot of people here in Dodger blue.
Yeah, but I wonder how many of those people became Dodgers fans this year, if you know what I mean.
Good point.
88 wins this season, the best team in baseball numbers-wise.
Right.
May have picked up a fan or two. One ball, one strike on MAHTOOK. Way outside, 2-1. Oh, there he is, the Bambino. Babe Ruth, a Ruth fan there. That's as good as it gets in Yankees lore. Now the 2-1. 2-2 on MAHTOOK. Well, now the Tigers have a number 4 in their history.
Yeah. Bobby Higginson.
Two on MAHTOOK. Good block.
And Sanchez has been very busy tonight. He has had to block a number of pitches in the dirt. And the starter Tanaka, he bounced a lot of those split-fingered fastballs up there. And tonight, it's been Sanchez. He's been up for the task.
Well, that's a Mets fan. 3-2. Shreve about to throw his 22nd pitch.
And not in a hurry to do it either.
He's done it at a very rather slow pace. Ooh, Mickey Mantle, there you go. Great player. Swing and a miss, and he got MAHTOOK to chase, and Shreve finally ends the inning. No runs, a double, 1 left. To the 9th we go.
Mick back with you here at Comerica Park for the 1-800-CALL SAM update. Pretty much all Yankees here tonight. Simo, just one of those nights for the Tigers.
Mick, see what had happened was, no, I'm only kidding. Listen, you're absolutely right. It was all Yankees today, guys. They made Comerica Park look very small. How about the bomb that Sanchez hit?
It went a long way.
It might have been the farthest ball I've seen hit here. So listen, we've got you covered on the post-game show, guys. We're going to talk about all the good and the ugly of what happened with the Tigers tonight.
Well, Masahiro Tanaka played a big part in that as well. We'll show you why he was so effective tonight coming up after the game on Tigers Live. Right now, back to the booth to Mario and Rod for the ninth, guys.
All right, fellas, I love SEMO, man. What had happened was...
Yeah.
Well, we've got a new pitcher now. It's going to be Jeff Farrell coming in for the Tigers.
And AAA numbers for Farrell this season, having a real nice year down in Toledo, a 251 earned run average. Had quite a few strikeouts. You can see he wasn't walking very many people, only 14 walks. He pitched in 41 games down there for the Mud Hens.
Tyler Wade will pinch hit, and he looks at a strike.
And Farrell's got a fastball that will top out probably about 94 miles an hour, but he's got a legit changeup. I mean, it is a really good pitch for him.
Wade sends a ground ball to short on the backhand there, Iglesias, and he can't get rid of it. Infield hit.
I'm not sure what happened there. Is Wade that fast?
No, I mean, he got to the ball quickly. I don't know if he lost the grip. That looked odd. What happened?
He gets over to backhand it, and then he looks up, and I guess he didn't have a good handle on it. That's why he didn't throw it.
Here's Brett Gardner. Another hit for the Yankees, their 15th of this game. Gardner tripled and scored in his last at bat. He has scored twice in this game.
Ooh, there's that changeup. Outstanding pitch for Farrell.
He got called up on August 13th. Two and one on Gardner. It'll miss again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Jeff Farrell, born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Previous big league time with the Tigers in 2015, appeared in 9 games. Swing and a miss. He left the strike zone there at 3-2. Rotator cuff problem sidelined him most of last year, and now here he is in 2017 back in the major leagues. Here's the 3-2 to center field for Jacoby Jones. 1 gone. I'll bring up Hicks. 2-run homer in his last at bat. Same 2 teams again tomorrow, Severino and Zimmerman. Zim will try and slow down this Yankees offense that tonight has put up 15 hits. And they're without many of their starting players. We mentioned the guys on the DL: Bird, Castro, Frazier, Holiday.
Yeah, they're going to get a whole lot better here in the next couple of weeks. And when rosters expand, everybody up and down their lineup has had at least 1 hit tonight, with the exception of Chase Headley. He walked once.
On a line to right field, and Presley is there.
He broke his bat on that swing. Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. If you tuned in a little bit tardy today, you missed this. It was a 2-1 changeup to Gary Sanchez, their catcher, and he's got a whole lot of power, and he hit it 493 feet from home plate. 493 feet is the furthest ball ever hit in this ballpark, and it left his bat at 113 miles per hour.
That one driven in the air to right field. Presley going back to the wall. He looks up and it's gone. And Sanchez has hit his second home run of the night.
How many right-handed batters do you see hit a ball against the traffic and it travels 15 rows deep the opposite way?
Not many.
I mean, seriously, Gary. Not many left-handers hit the ball that far in that direction.
25th home run of the year for Gary Sanchez.
What a day he's had. He's hit 1,000 feet of home runs here today.
6 times he's gone multi-homer games. He's had not been in the big leagues long. Little high to Jacoby Ellsbury.
Hit speed on that home run only 103 off the bat of Gary Sanchez.
403 feet. And that ball hit to the opposite field. Tigers fan gives it up. That's pretty cool. Popped up foul, back out of play.
Yankees have a real nice mix, partner, of youth and veteran leadership. Obviously have an outstanding manager in Joe Girardi, but they've got an aging roster, but at the same time they've got a lot of young kids that have been in the big leagues a long time, like Gregorius and Castro and some of those guys, to go along with the Hickses and the Sanchez's and the Judges of the world, Clint Frazier.
I would agree. I still think Boston is the best team in the East, but the Yankees are right there. Ball skied in the air to center. And Jones will haul it in to retire the side. 2 more runs in on a big night from Sanchez. 2 homers tonight for Gary Sanchez. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Today, the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred, visited the Motor City and got a big tour of the District Detroit, Little Caesars Arena as well from Chris Ilitch. And, well, he spent some time in the booth with us as well and really had some positive things to say about Detroit.
Yeah, it's good to see the commissioner. I mean, he comes here every single year, not only here, but he tries to make his rounds to every single major league city. And he's always gracious with his time. That's not the first time he spent some time with us on the air.
Meanwhile, Jacoby Jones pops it up to start things off in the bottom of the ninth, and 1 gone.
I kind of like the fact, too, Mario, that you know, he's not up to making huge wholesale changes, because he said it while he was up here. He didn't want, you know, to make some huge changes to the game, but there are things you could do to move the game along, to make the game better, and I think it's a wonderful that he and the staff are up for doing that.
Yeah, he said he's not into changing the fundamentals of the game and how we know it and have come to appreciate it, but yet does realize that we're taking a step back in terms of pace of play and times of games, and they're still working on that. Hicks, the batter, he looks at a strike. Hicks hit for Cabrera back in the 7th and doubled. Shreve with the 0-1. 0-2 now on John Hicks. (13-3). The Yankees have led all night. They were up 7-0 early, then 7-1, and they continue to tack on.
And a lot of crooked numbers up on the scoreboard on the visiting side.
Swing and a miss, and Hicks is out of there. 2 gone. 3rd strikeout for Shreve. Tanaka part of the story as well tonight for the Yankees. Yes, they scored a lot of runs, but he was pretty good.
A lot of first pitch strikes today for Tanaka, making his first start after spending some time on the disabled list with some shoulder discomfort.
So with 2 outs, here is Castellanos. Nicholas, a 2-run homer in the 7th. To center field on a line, and it's going to get by Ellsbury, who tried to make a sliding attempt. It's going to go to the wall. Castellanos coming to 3rd. They're going to try and score him. Here's a throw to the plate, and he is safe. Castellanos takes the tour, and the Tigers get a run on an inside the park homer. Well, that'll bring those that stuck around a little joy. (13-4) ball game. Castellanos tours the bases. And now he needs something to drink.
And some oxygen. He can't even drink the water. He's so tired. He was flying around the bases.
He was, man. 2nd home run of the game for Nicholas. That one an inside the Parker.
And once this ball got past Jacoby Ellsbury in center field, it was barreled up. Looked like the ball was knuckling once it got to him, and once he misplayed it, you knew it was off to the races for Castellanos, who was able to get it inside the park home run for his 2nd homer of the game. He was cruising until he saw the ball got past him. Now he turned on the Jets about right there. And he's feeling it right now. He knows he's got a legitimate shot. I wonder how fast he got around the bases. It took that kid Byron Buxton about 13 seconds the other day to get around the bases on an inside the park home run.
Well, the last one for the Tigers, 2015, the McCann home run, his first big league homer in Minnesota. Meanwhile, 3-1 on Romine. Inside the park home run for Nicholas Castellanos. Here's the 3-1. Fouled back 3-2.
Nobody had Nick tonight and picked the stick either.
Nope. Could have made a nice move in the standings with Castellanos.
Nice move today. Would have been about a 10-point day today for Nicholas.
High fly ball in the air to left field. That's going to the warning track and caught up against the wall by Gardner to end the ball game. 13-4 your final score. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York standing by with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you. Despite some late game excitement for the Tigers, far from enough tonight. Coming up on Tigers Live, what the Yankees did to bounce Matthew Boyd early from tonight's game. And judgment has been rendered. The streak is over for Aaron Judge. We'll explain. Brad Ausmus will try to explain the struggles for his club tonight. And we'll announce tonight's broadcast auction winner. Stay tuned. Tigers Live is coming right up.